Bengaluru, also known as Bangalore, is the capital and the largest city of the southern Indian state of Karnataka. It is located near the center of the Deccan Plateau at a height of 3,000 feet above sea level. Archaeological artifacts indicate that the human settlement in the region happened as early as 4000 BC. The city proper was established in 1537 by Kempagowda, a local governor and chieftain aligned with the Vijayanagara Empire under the Emperor Achunta Devaraya. The city is known as India's Garden City due to its parks and greenery. The Bannerghatta National Park is renowned for its wildlife exploration. Lal Bagh Botanical Garden, Cubbon Park are some of the must-visit places in the city. Bengaluru also has some famous spiritual sites like the ISKCON Temple and the Shivoham Shiva Temple. The city is a major center for information technology and is consistently ranked amongst the world's fastest-growing technology hubs. It is widely regarded as the Silicon Valley of India, as the largest hub and exporter of IT services in the country. Bengaluru is also home to several sporting stadiums and governing bodies. Royal Challengers Bengaluru and Bengaluru FC are some of the famous sports teams in the city with a huge fan following, while Karnataka Golf Association also remains an iconic sports address in the city. The Spark 71 KGA course plays host to PGTI this week for the 1 crore prize money. The Bengaluru Open, returning for its 4th edition after a 6-year gap, and supported by partners Indian Oil and Britannia. The KGA has spent a staggering 70 crores till now to bring the golf course to an international standard. KGA boasts of a world-class automated irrigation system befitting a fine golf course of global standards. The lush green fairways and water bodies define the course, which is a favorite amongst professional golfers. The cut came down at 1 over 143. 50 professionals and 1 amateur made the cut. Nepal's Subhash Tamang, the round 1 joint leader, dropped down to tied 4th at 8 under 134 as a result of his 69 on Wednesday. Subhash was joined by Greater Noida's Saptak Talwar in tied 4th. Gurugram's Manu Gandas shot a tournament low of 63 to climb 26 spots to 3rd place at 9 under 133. Viraj Madappa of Kolkata, the overnight joint leader, fired a 67 in round 2 to slip 1 spot to 2nd place at 10 under 132. Sri Lankan N. Thangaraja, the man in form with a winner and runner-up position in the last 3 PGTI events, continued his golden run with a 6 under 65 to move into the halfway lead on day 2 of the 1 crore Bengaluru Open 2025, powered by Indian Oil, played at the KGA in Bengaluru. Thangaraja, who was overnight tied 3rd and 1 off the lead, total 11 under 131 after 36 holes to hold a 1-shot advantage at the top of the leaderboard.
Gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the penultimate round of the Bengaluru Open powered by Indian Oil. The PGTI is this week at the Bengaluru Open at the KGA Golf Club, the Karnataka Golf Association. This is led by N. Thangaraja after the first 8 holes of the penultimate round at 14 under par, followed closely by Viraj Madappa at 12 under and Manu Gandas at 11 under par. The weather is scintillating as ever at this town, 26 degrees Celsius. And of course, we are slightly more above sea level over here in Bangalore, so the ball tends to travel a little bit further, partly cloudy skies. And of course, as always, the KGA playing to the most pristine conditions ever. I am Rahul Bajaj, your host for the day, joined alongside by Shaurya Singh and Shivas Nath.
Thank you for that, Rahul. The 3 of us will be doing the tango, as the players have been doing on the golf course, none more so than Thangaraja. 3 under par, 14 under par leading. Here's a look at some of the leading scores. Divyanshu Bajaj has been the pick of the litter today. 6 under par through 11. Blazing a trail, the player from Kolkata. We've seen the cut being applied at 1 over. And this is one of the best golf courses probably in Asia, if not just the country. And the conditions are pristine. The players are really enjoying it. True greens, quick greens, perfectly manicured fairways. And the result is low numbers and a lot of excitement. And this is the 4th edition of this tournament, and the previous 3 editions were also stayed at this golf course.
Well, talking about Kolkata, another player from Kolkata, Rahul Gangji, also trying to move up on this moving day. Currently 4 under par through 12 holes of the day as we take a look at the back nine of the KGA with that little golf cart going around. We're now on the 17th, moving on to the 18th, which plays a slight dogleg from the tee box, although it's a pretty straightforward looking hole. You've got to draw one from the tee. We now collect ourselves at the live action here on the 10th hole. We have Akshay Sharma from Chandigarh.
Yeah, the 10th hole, dogleg left par 4. Most of the players opting to go with the 6 iron or 5 iron off the tee, as Akshay would be going with. He favors the left right, not the ideal hole, left right fade, not the ideal hole for Akshay off the tee, but he's put it in the fairway. Some of the more adventurous players might actually go with the driver and cut it from over the OB. And we're definitely in luck right now. We can have a look at Saptak. He's going the aggressive. Hold on to your seats. This is going to be interesting. The fly is maybe 300 yards from the left-hand side all the way, cutting the OB. It's only for the longer hitter, this play.
100%. And just as you said it, Saptak kind of pulled out his driver Shaurya. I think he could perhaps hear you. Maybe we should just whisper it out now onwards. And Saptak, of course, will either have to draw this one up from the right side of the fairway. That'll be about a 20-yard draw, or one has to cut the corner from the left side. And that's really going to, have to cut that one in. So I think Saptak should most likely be taking the approach of hitting a draw on this shot.
Yeah, he's has a tendency of hitting it straight, if that makes any sense. He's a very good driver of the ball. It's
a tendency to have, I must say.
Yes, so it should not be much of a problem for him. It's a very strong driver of the ball. Let's see, standing a little open, so maybe going with the fade. So that seems like it'll be the more aggressive route.
Most draw players also tend to stand with a bit of an open stance. Saptak's really gone after that one, hasn't he?
Really given it all. That is the Sunday special. He's given it the full treatment.
There he is. He's just about 20 odd yards short of the green. Doesn't seem like he caught it very well. He's looking at his driver. I think perhaps caught it a little bit weak.
But that's a very good drive. Still in the fairway, maybe 20 yards short of the green. And it's a daunting shot. I'll tell you that much. I don't know if in your heyday, were you going with the driver here, Rahul?
Absolutely. It's only when sort of started maturing and sort of growing up like yourself.
My friend, I've been grey. I've been grey since a long time.
Started to hit an iron off like Subhash. Subhash seems to have matured up a little bit quicker.
Going with the iron as well.
Subhash Tamanga coming in all the way from Nepal. Plays and trains mostly in Bangalore at the Zion Hills.
Nice, languid, easy swing there. It's not really much to think for the players if you have an iron in your hand here with the 5 and 6 and pretty broad, wide fairway there. There is a bunker which is mostly out of play.
Lots of players would generally hit about a 6 iron off the tee, get it off about 180, 190 yards off the tee box, and then have probably somewhere between 100 to 130 yard shot, depending on where the flag was placed. Shaurya, you've been a pretty good driver of the ball in terms of a draw shape, and you would have surely gone on for this.
No, but
in one.
What I had in driving, I lacked in intestinal fortitude. I used to go with the 6 iron. I always used to go with the driver, then put it back as my palms would get sweaty and knees a little weak. And you know the song. So exactly, I would go back with the iron. In fact, I had one of my finishes here. I remember being fourth on the final day playing with Ajitesh Sandhu and Himmat Rai. Although I capitulated in magnificent fashion, but it was one to remember.
Kept yourself in some good company over the years, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got Abhinav Lohan now putting on hole number 11, the par 5.
And this is also a birdie hole for a lot of these players.
Absolutely. Another hole where the draw shape is extremely important here at the KGA Club. Therefore, Abhinav Lohan seems like that would be a drop for a birdie. And one has to tee off this 11 tee box and probably draw it about 30 to 40 yards. And that can be quite daunting for anyone. And not the easiest of shots. And if you leave yourself in the rough, then you've got pretty much no shot to the green. So, another couple of holes here on this course which do force you to hit a draw as we take a look at Anant Alav.
Yeah, probably with the birdie attempt. That's being a little assumptuous, but still. We'll know from the reaction. Seems more like a par putt. No elation whatsoever. Or maybe birdies are coming easy for this group. Anand Singh Alawat, Abhinav Lohan, and Shaurya Bhattacharya.
Anand Singh is currently at 4 under par for the tournament, and so is Abhinav Lohan, both of the players at 1 over par for the day. You've got Divyanshu Bajaj, as you mentioned earlier, at 6 under par. He's the one who's blazing the course right now. And so is Ravi Kumar at 5 under par, moving himself up to 7 under for the tournament, tie for 9th position as of right now. We've got Akshay Sharma on the screen coming up from the right side of the fairway here on the 10th hole. He should have nothing more than a gap wedge to this.
Well, I'm surprised that this golf course has proven a little difficult for the international players. Not many of them making the cut. MD Somrat missing the cut. MD Akbar missing the cut. K. Prabhakaran missing the cut. Federico Zucchetti missing the cut. Koichiro Sato also unfortunately not making the cut. MD Sola again. We saw him do well in previous weeks. So it's definitely has a bite, so as to speak, this golf course. As we have a look at Akshay, a perfect angle, you'd say, coming in from the right hand side.
Absolutely, especially for Akshay. Akshay likes to, he favors more of a fade kind of a ball flight, and the pin today is on the right side of the green, 22 in from the front, so gives him ample space to be aggressive. And while the flag's on the right side, he also gets an ample space to cut that ball into the flag.
Yeah, that is his preferred shot shape. So looking at the yardage book to double check everything.
Of course, the only thing over here now that matters is going to be the wind. Doesn't seem like it's a very windy day out here at the KGA, so should be very much attack opportunity for Sharma.
Anil Palmer-esque in the way that he addresses, a little crouched.
Very much so.
Let's see where that ends up. You can see a birdie in the sky, and that has that's not the best place to miss it. It's nestled down. It's going to be a tricky up and down for par for him.
Maybe he just overdid the safe side by pulling it a tad bit. I think that probably is somewhat of a double cross, if I may.
Now Subhash.
Subhash seems to be about 20 yards past where Sharma was. Tamang should have nothing more than a sand wedge here.
Yeah, this is definitely attack territory. You want to be making birdie from here. You've hit a good shot of the tee. You want to be looking at least inside 10 or 15 feet at most. But here again, calling the caddy in. Maybe the winds. He's actually changed his club. The only choice that I can think, maybe he was going with a gap wedge and now selecting a sand wedge or the latter.
The length of the hole, not so much, only about 300. A little bit weak off the tee, you're most likely going to be finding yourself in the drink. Saptak Talwar pacing it up now.
Yeah, visually a little daunting to try and cut it over the outer bound. You do have a few tall trees there as well to navigate, and I think all things considered, Saptak is a good drive, but he's not really in a great position given where he's landed up with this tee shot, because it's not easy from there. You'd rather have a 100-yard full wedge given where the angle that he's coming from. So
I couldn't agree more, Shaurya. He will have to really cook this one up well and good from under the ball and have plenty of spin on that one. And with that much of green to work with, I think that definitely is a challenging shot. Saptak now is also playing a lot of golf on the European Challenge Tour. So that's where he's been spending most of his time. Last we saw of him was when he won the tournament at the JP Greens, his home club, a few months ago.
It's got really good hands. Likes to flight the ball at medium sort of flight coming in. I've played some golf with him at JP Greens. A very solid hit he also has on the ball. Oh, really underdid that. So, coming back to our point, we said he's hit a brilliant shot, but that second shot was visually intimidating. Not much green to work with. Rough also on the right-hand side. So, often just the length of the shot; it's also where you place it. So if you see that little bit of a mound right before the green, so visually, your dropping area looks smaller than what it actually is. So just a little unlucky, maybe.
Absolutely unlucky it is. My apologies. Spin today here on the 10th is 9 in and 4 from the left, it says, but it doesn't seem like the correct location, is it?
So yeah, it's a front flag, 9 from the front, and now he has worked out in order to secure par. And surprised to see him going with quite an elongated backswing. So maybe he's looking to get under this one. Not quite a straightforward shot. Otherwise, I'd see him probably going for a bump and run. But
Seems like he's coming from the rough here.
that really did pop up quick, and I think he's done a really good job. He's nestled it in there, given so good par for him. After that drive, I know he would have wanted a birdie, but the last thing that you want is a drop shot.
Very realistic opportunity here for him to save his par. Especially after that drive, you certainly don't want to go out of this hole by losing a shot. We take a look now at Akshay Sharma, who comes up from the left side of the green. Akshay has plenty of room to work with over here, and does a pretty fine job of that.
I
now
think
nearly making it.
Yeah, he's done exceedingly well as Akshay. Today, as the course is yielding a lot of low scores.
I think the KJ golf course is one of the most pristine golf courses in the country. Greens always play beautifully over here, and that really gives the players an opportunity to go out and play their best golf, doesn't it?
Yeah, no doubt about that. You're seeing red numbers aplenty. Kalin Joshi, local boy, 4 under par. You see Ravi Kumar, 5 under par. Then you have Angachima, 4 under par. Rahil Ganji, 4 under par. Divyansh Bajaj, of course, the best route, 6 under par on the golf course. Then you have Jairaj Singh Sandhu, 4 under par. The left-hander. Anshul Kabatyal, 3 under par. Anshul had a 4 over on day 1. Shot a 5 under par on the second day. And now 3 under today. That's how you make a cut in style. Now, it's about hole number 10. There you can see some sort of a variation of the aim point being employed by him.
Hopefully it's aim point express, so it's quick.
Well, that's a word that I don't know too much about, my friend.
Harsh Tamang, he's had a couple of good finishes already this year. I think he's playing his second season as a professional.
Where he's putting, this putt should break from his left. Brilliant story that he has, coming from humble backgrounds and doing so well. Now with his birdie attempt, and has walked it in, ladies and gentlemen. That's a birdie for the man from Nepal.
He's had 3 top 10 finishes already this year on the PGTI of India.
And there you see the birdie animation also come up.
Turned professional in 2024 and had 1 top 10 finish then. Already had 3 of them this year. Saptak Talwar has a little bit of a 3-footer left to save his par on the 10th.
The creek on the right looks a lot closer than years past, or maybe it's just a illusion.
I think it's a visual from the angle that we're looking at it. I think it's in the same place as it used to be on the right side of the cart path. But certainly a place which can swallow the golf ball, especially if you catch it a bit weak on the right. Now take a look at Akshay Sharma. The thing is that even if you hit it in that hazard, the drop that you get, it's in such a location that it becomes very tough to even save up and down from there. So hence, a person who might miss it on the right side mostly is not a very prudent approach to start with the driver.
Yeah, I think all things considered is not really, unless you're really on song with the driver, it's up that surely. If you're certain that you're going to get it in that corridor, because you're taking on the pressure of hitting that sliver of a target, going over the OB, as we have a look at Akshay with his par attempt. You're having to fly it over the OB, try to negate that hazard and get somewhere on the short stuff. So not the easiest drive and not much of a reward unless you really get it perfect.
So that'll really be to do with how the players play personally, and how they like to sort of look at their misses, and it'll have to be a pretty much a player-to-player decision as to whether this is a prudent approach for you or not. And certainly, if you can fly at 300 plus yards and if you don't miss the ball that much, definitely is. Manu Gandas at 11 under par now on our screen, spotting here on hole number 9, the par 5.
The par 5. This is going to be a really quick putt. You just want to be touching it a little bit, and then it'll get on its way. And
Bit of a miss there.
unfortunate that has stayed up.
Just about nicking the low side of the hole. Tough hole, this the 9th hole here at KGA. It's pretty much 3 shorter unless and until you can hit it probably as long as Bryson DeChambeau. Certainly a hole where you'll have to take 3 shots to get there. And mind you, even the second shot, the layup itself is not easy enough. It really, like, the whole kind of the fairway tapers as it gets closer to the green.
But looking at the top 10, I think there are quite a few players who can definitely get there in 2.
It really did make quite a comeback a few months ago when he started off with the PGTI Players Championship at the IDC Golf Club and won that event, coming in pretty much after a hiatus of a year of not playing any competitive golf whatsoever.
No, you're quite right, Rahul, and that's certainly a very impressive comeback. And he had a back injury, and I think what's the key here is that I happened to run into him at the Royal Calcutta Golf Club, which was maybe I think it was last year in November, and he was working very hard, very diligently, gingerly on his short game. Still wasn't permitted to make full swings in a sense, and I recall him chatting with some of the members of the people around him, and he wanted to only return back to competitive golf, and he was completely injury free. And I think that's very, very wise. Carrying an injury creates a lot of movement, a lot of swing changes and compensations, and doesn't do favors to you the recovery time as well.
Coming off a pretty good start, 300 through the front nine with birdies on hole number 2, as well as the 9th. As Madappa might have pushed that one out onto the 10th hole tee shot, which going with a driver. We take now a look at Thangaraja. Thangaraja going with an iron, seems like a 7 or a 6 iron for Thanga.
A nice little knockdown swing.
Absolutely no
tamasha. Yeah.
Wait for the tamasha to be done on the second shot and the third.
This is a very nice hole. Makes you think between the risk and the reward. So, but I kind of believe that also giving yourself as a player 100, 120 yards in, those are very measured shots. So playing the hole backwards, give yourself that opportunity, and you can have a birdie for the taking, because it's just a matter of getting your wedge and throw right.
Well, certainly a very important week here this week. Muganda's also going with an iron. Well, while Thanga and Manu this week have already made it to DP World India Championship for next week, which is being held at the Delhi Golf Club, worth $4 million. And Viraj Madappa, still needs to find his spot there in this tournament. Viraj Madappa certainly looking for a victory so that he can make his presence felt at the DP World India Championship just next week. In fact, Viraj, the last tournament he won was at the Delhi Golf Club 4 years ago at the MP Open, which was the inaugural MP Open that was held at the DGC, and he would certainly be looking forward to that.
No, absolutely. We have already 23 players, I believe, from our PGTI who have qualified for the DP World event. And the final spot open is for the winner of the Bengaluru Open. So Thangaraja is already in the field. So you're right. Viraj would be absolutely trying to get into that field and get back to competing at the highest level. There we have a lovely visual of the KGA. It's an absolutely delightful clubhouse, a lot of renovation, a lot of additions, a beautiful terrace added on as well. It's just a lovely, lovely track. One of our favorites in India, definitely ranked in the top 5 in my opinion. Pristine greens, excellent fairways, and one of my favorite coffees. They have a very nice dancing coffee that's available from the South Indian kitchen.
Dancing coffee.
Yes, it's a dancing coffee.
That's the first. Well, Viraj, of course, won at the ITC this year, and before 2025, the tournament that he won was about 4 years ago at the MP Cup. Just a little bit of a correction there, and Viraj trying to signal whether his golf ball is safe or not. Still hasn't figured that out, whether it's found the drink or will it be dry. Thangaraja is certainly lying in a dry spot and would be looking at attacking the spin. I think the prudent position to put yourself would be about 10 feet left of this hole, as high as possible, giving yourself an uphill chance for a birdie.
No, absolutely right. This is a very tricky hole because you've got the out of bounds on the left side. It shapes right to left. That water body you were just referencing on the right side, and it's got a couple of bunkers right up on the face of the green. So a driver is something which does make me think twice or thrice. Is the risk really worth the reward?
I think if you've had to think twice about it anyway, it's time for it to go in the bag. So don't even go towards the thrice. And Manu Gandas coming up from the short stuff here. Manu has had tremendous experience in playing on the DP World Tour. So I think he came in from the rough and has pulled that one, but is pretty much on the down. Should be about 35 feet away from the hole for birdie.
It's a very deep green. It's about, I think, 34 yards deep, not wide in terms of left to right, but it certainly presents a lot of options to the superintendent in terms of pin positions and to the PGTI tour, of course.
Thangaraja hits it past the hole and still quite far.
Yeah,
Probably about 35 or 40 feet away from the hole for a birdie.
And that's going to be fairly quick coming down that way. It's going to move left to right, and it's definitely going to be charging down.
Well, Thangaraj, the current leader at 14 under par, has made 4 birdies on the front line and a lone bogey on hole number 4, while he's made birdies on hole number 1, 3, 5, and 6. So coming in at 3 under par through the turn, certainly has not given himself a birdie opportunity, but definitely hasn't played himself out of it as well. Viraj Madappa.
Well, we just saw him, dropping.
He must have taken a drop there, right?
Because just on the left of the screen is actually the water body we were talking about. So I believe he may have driven it in there.
Well, we've got
third shot.
It's a third shot,
yep,
as our screen confirmed. That means he's taken a penalty drop from the water hazard and would have probably taken a 3 drop from
the cart path.
Later.
And now he has to flip it on a tight pin over the bunker. Interesting.
Well, that's just to add to the drama there. Certainly, it's a tough shot. Oh wow! That's a brilliant shot that is by Viraj Madappa. That was certainly not something that I was expecting, but he's given himself a fairly decent chance at saving a par here. About 15 feet away, but.
पापा भूख लगी है मुझे भी वॉशरूम जाना है पेट्रोल भी भराना पड़ेगा।
सब मिलेगा। सरप्राइज! पेट्रोल, रेस्टोरेंट, क्लीन वॉशरूम, सब मिलेगा। इंडियन ऑयल स्वागत पेट्रोल पंप पे हर जर्नी को परफेक्ट बनाने के लिए इंडियन ऑयल स्वागत जैसी सुविधाएं चाहिए। तो जब भी सफर पर निकलें, स्वागत में जरूर रुकें, क्योंकि स्वागत है हैप्पी जर्नी की रेसिपी।
देखिए ना, वही सेम चॉकलेट कुकीज खा खा के जिंदगी से सैड हो गया है।
नाम क्या है इसका?
जिमी।
टेम्पटेशन से बड़ा कोई मैजिक नहीं। प्योर मैजिक चोको स्टार्स, द न्यू टेम्पटेशन।
I'm sorry, sir. My mistake.
पर हम भी जिद्दी है। मुश्किल खड़ी है, खोले सीना, सामने चट्टान है, मेरी जिद का बोले पसीना, चट्टानों के अंदर आसमान है। जिद है, जिद क्या पावाली, जिद है, जिद क्या पावाली, जिद है, जिद क्या पावाली, जिद।
And we're back after a commercial break, and we saw Viraj hit a nice little pitch, probably the best he could do, Rahul, under the circumstances. Coming in from that distance over a bunker, hitting out of a rough, limited spin.
Absolutely, 100%. I think that's probably the best effort that one can make from that sort of location, be it after the drop in the rough, as well as hitting it to this flag location, getting it 15 feet to the flag to be able to save a par. I think that's a pretty good opportunity Viraj has given himself. As we take a look now, I think Manu Gandas is ready for a putt, and then Thangaraja. Both players should be fairly similar distances away. Thangaraja has putt away first, left himself a little tap in for a putt.
Yeah,
In fact, I've known Thangaraja for so many years. Sorry, Shivas, to cut you out there. I've known Thangaraja for so many years. It's only this morning that I came to know that his first name N stands for Nadaraja. So he's Nadaraja Thangaraja. So he's two Rajas in one.
Well, that's a very interesting bit of trivia. So Viraj clearly trying to push the pace to get ahead, and making a bit of an error. So his 15-footer coming up after Manu Gandas's birdie attempt is a very critical one to stay in touch with Thangaraja.
Well, it's interesting though, right? What can happen here at the KG on 10th and 11th? The 10th being the reachable par 4, and the 11th being the reachable par 5. Although both holes, the tee shots aren't very easy. So so it's a makeable opportunity only if you really hit your tee shots in the right spot. As we take a look at Manu now, Manu putting for birdie here on the 10th. As he got the right line, Manu Gandas, great attempt there. Should have about 2.5 to 3 feet for his par.
Manu Gandas, I'm a huge fan, Rahul, of his temperament and his body language. Very even keel, very balanced, calm, cool as a cucumber.
Well, does he remind you a little bit of Retief Goosen back in the day?
You're right, an excellent tempo on his swing as well. So when you think of Retief Goosen, you just got to talk tempo, just like his South African contemporary Ernie Els.
Talking about tempo, Viraj Madappa has quite a consistent tempo of his own. Putting for par here.
He's dropped the shot.
Veered off a little bit towards the right. Not the easiest of putts, coming in, breaking in from the left to the right, downhill all the way to the hole. Viraj with a super attempt there, putting now for a 5. And one drop shot here for Madappa, still very much in the hunt.
You're absolutely right. These two holes are risk, reward, and definitely favor the right to left player, the strong right to left player. And you have to have that shot in the bag with the driver to really give yourself the best advantage.
And most certainly, in fact, on the 11th hole, if you can, hook the tee shot plenty, just by dropping it in the fairway, you get a 20-yard extra. And if you don't, you're going to be stuck in the rough with a really long club in your hand.
And or playing back from the 14th fairway, which is on the right, the safety.
Yeah. So
Well done, Manu.
Here we have Manu cleans up for a par here. Viraj Madappa would drop to 12 under par after that tiny little blemish. His first bogey of the day. Should be fine going into the rest of the back nine. KGA this week is playing as a par 71 as the 14th hole is playing as a par 4. So the back nine has only one par 5 for the players.
There's a lot of work that folks at KGA have been putting in, as I mentioned, in the clubhouse, the upgrading, creation of the terraces, the new umbrella bar, as they fondly refer to it. And there's a lot of work that's going on the course as well because they've been installing floodlights, and that's something which will allow one of the busiest courses in the country to have more players teeing off because you just can't find a tee time there. You have to have some very good friends in your social circle to get a tee time there.
Tamang sizing up that putt from pretty much a 360-degree angle has taken in a view on under his feet with where the slope is at and done it from all angles. And one final one, I hope.
Samaj Tamang's also been very impressive, Rahul, this entire season. He's been lurking around the top, threatening, did particularly well at Zion Hills, which is his home base at Tarun Sardesai's academy in Bangalore. I'm very impressed with this youngster.
Absolutely. I think Tamang, I mentioned some time ago, has already had 3 top 10 finishes this year, opposed to only 1 in his first year as a professional, which was just last. So only playing his second season as a pro is Tamang. He's had 4 top 10s this year.
Definitely a solid player, former winner of the All India Amateur as well a couple of years ago. So definitely has a bright future. Tamang, for our viewers, comes from our friendly neighborhood country, Nepal. And Tamang, I think, moved to India to start training about 3 years ago or thereabouts, if I'm not mistaken.
I think maybe a little bit before that. Top 10 this year at the PGTI Players Championship, finishing 9th first, and thereafter had another top 10 on top 5, in fact, at another PGTI Players Championship in August. Thereafter, at the Zion Hills, his home course, finished 6th, and Chennai Open finished 10th. So has had 4 top 10 finishes, looking for his first win this week.
So a bit of trivia for our viewers. The whole tee on our screen now, of course, is the 12th. And this one, the KGA Open, was originally the first hole. And what you see behind them is now their wonderful maintenance and machinery shed. And that was the old clubhouse.
Really?
Yes, indeed. And this had a road on the left side and a car park as well.
Another youngster, Vishesh Sharma from Hyderabad, at 9 under par, playing as a rookie this year. First season as a professional, playing on hole number 12. The 12th also is a fairly good birdie opportunity. It does set up for a drive with a draw again from the tee. You'll have to hit about a 3-wood or a hybrid, depending on how far you hit it. About 250, 260 is what is needed off the tee box. And the second shot, he plays slightly downhill, which actually makes the hole slightly tougher for that second shot. Vishesh Sharma had a pretty good opportunity for a birdie here. Now putting for par.
And the 12th was a very interesting hole, and you're right. It's a bit of a downhill. The green is set below the fairway, and it also tends to get away. The first half of the green kind of slopes away left to right.
That becomes kind of the reason that it becomes tough to knock a ball very close to the hole. So
Indeed.
Although if you know that the green behaves like that, then it becomes a little bit easier to give yourself an opportunity, especially because the green's fairly flat. There's not much of a line on this particular green.
Absolutely.
Mane, the Olympian, first look at him.
Well, I'm seeing him in shorts after a long time on play at pro event. I've always seen him in trousers. Well, then of course, again, KGA has been a bit of a home course for him as well, so he knows his way around.
Absolutely. Currently at 3 under par through 13 holes and 7 under par for the tournament. Udayan Mane, the Olympian, played plenty of golf here at the KG, and so has Viraj Madappa. Played plenty golf here. Playing alongside Amardeep Malik. Fine putt there by Amardeep. Left with a slight bit of a tap in. No trouble. Hole number 14, the par 5, which is playing as a par 4 this week.
The original hole number 14 as a par 5 has, is something that's pretty interesting in terms of strategy because of the tee ball, which most people obviously end up laying up short of that water. And then, of course, setting themselves up for a big second shot. And this inevitably is always playing into a left-right crosswind, I find, this 14th hole.
Playing with Manoj S, the two players, Amardeep Malik and Udayan Mane. Manoj, unfortunately, that ball would just nick the cup and move by. Manoj S currently at a score of 2 under par for the day, 6 under for the tournament, made an eagle on the par 5 11th. Pin position today, 22 in and 8 from the right on the 11th is a pretty tough pin position to make an eagle on.
And this green, it has a lot of movement. It's heavily sloped from left to right, and significant elevation changes. Guarded by a couple of bunkers on the left side and the right side, and always plays very, very quick with a lot of slope.
As I now call upon my co-commentator, Shaurya Singh, back into the hot seat.
Welcome, Shaurya. Welcome back. And we have a little. Why are golf terms named after birds? Now, that's a very interesting bit of trivia. Well, my favorite part, of course, in our telecast is the birdie dance, that little animated birdie shows up every time there's a birdie scored by a player. Very much akin to one of my previous favorite scenarios where Channel 9 in Australia had the duck and the walk when a player actually got bowled out or out for a zero.
Yeah, good for the viewers, not for the player. And thank you for that, Rahul. It's a game of Russian roulette that we're playing. And so are the players. Who's the one who's going to come up on top? That's going to be interesting to note as we have a look at the man who's really been on song for the latter half of the season. The King of Gold, Mr. Thanga Raja.
Yep, an interesting second shot coming up on the 11th hole. Firmly in the hot seat. 2 ahead. Viraj Madappa.
It's a par 5. Dog leg to the left. And he's a really good shot. Unfortunate for that to have come up a little short, but was tracking. Very good shot nevertheless by Thanga. He'll have an up and down, try and make birdie from there. So this shows you that the more you bite off, the shorter the hole becomes. But of course, it is flanked by out of bounds on the left side, so not for the faint of heart. Manu Gandas would have given it one of his customary high draws, and now the players, somebody like Manu would maybe at most have a 6 iron here coming in. So it's, if you pull off a good drive, it's definitely eagle hole.
For sure, because you see that elevation right behind him, behind his trousers. That's where the fairway bunker sits on the right side. Something.
Oh, La Tiger Woods, he was able to stop it midway on the back. Maybe the bird.
Yeah, well, they just had some trivia about the birds, sure. So I guess it was a good time for a bird to get into the middle of the action.
It's still hovering over somewhere. Hopefully, it's a birdie or an eagle.
Come on, Manu, make a good swing now. Lovely tempo.
And he has that little bit of a pause as well on top. That's so good. Look at that golf.
That is stunning. Absolutely.
That's right from the top draw. What an absolute beauty. So that sets himself, he sets himself for an eagle, 12 feet downhill. Really on song is Manu Gandas. That's why
Beautiful.
He was our number 1 player, Mr. Shivas. 2 years ago, he was number 1 and plied his trade all over Europe.
And certainly a lot richer for the experience, I would imagine. Going out, playing new courses, new climates, different people, different foods.
We're playing alongside Viraj. Viraj also has the ability of hitting towering shots, maybe better than because he's taller. And look for this to come up.
Very strong boy, Viraj. Very, very strong boy. Works incredibly hard on his fitness. And he has, he's
Come
tucked
up
it a bit
to the
left.
left, but
That's fine. That's fine.
should be able to make up and down from there. Viraj has blown a little hot and cold for the last few years. It's good to see him again on top of things.
And in very important, injury free as well. We were talking about his back injuries. Onwards to the 12th hole, we see the beautiful, landscaping around the 12th tee on the top right of your screen.
Yeah, definitely a sight for sore eyes.
It's such a pleasure to see on screen and play a course like KGA. The management and the members take a lot of pride in their work.
I'm not quite certain where that ended up. I think about 20 feet right of the flag. This again a tight driving hole of the tee. You're normally going with a rescue or a 3-iron of some sort, but it's still a very narrow target with OB on the left, water on the right. There you see. Player from,
that was very close to that water body which guards the 13th green. It's a large water body, but that also comes into play sometimes if you push a tee shot on the 12th.
I think that was Subhash Tamang.
Yes, Subhash is in the black shirt today. So
there you see on the right hand side of the screen, if your ball goes beyond that, it's out of bounds. So off the tee, it's you have to hit a strong draw off the tee. Sometimes you do end up putting a little bit too much English on it, and then you find yourself in the wrong bottom corner, so to speak.
Yeah, and if you're in the wrong bottom corner, stealing a bit of expression, then you're certainly using wrong English on yourself.
Yes,
torturing yourself in that spot. I was best mentioning to Rahul.
Beautiful wordplay.
Absolutely. Well, that's the joy of sitting together as good friends, having a little fun.
As you see, the player is allowed to do that now. He can clear that sand off, which is on the putting surface.
So I was mentioning to our viewers before you and Rahul swapped out that the 12th hole, as we see it now, was originally the first hole when KGA opened up and started as a golf course back in the late 80s. Now it's a course that I celebrated its 52 years ago.
Now this, what odds do you think he has from here to make up and down? I'd say at least, I'd say more than 50%. But if you want to get this within about 7 feet. You want to get this shot within about 7 feet, depending on how far he is from the lip and what kind of lie he's drawn, which we can't quite ascertain at this point in time. But given that he is closer to the lip, so look for this to come out a little higher, maybe not roll more than a foot.
And it's a fairly flattish green, and I think he's done a good job.
He's rolled
sure,
it
you
up
absolutely well.
What an absolute beauty that
you called it. You absolutely called it right, and he's 2.5 feet away.
Yes, that should be a birdie for him. And a just reward, nevertheless.
Absolutely. And now the script flips back to Viraj.
What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, he's going to play a little bit of a clippy bump and run, I imagine. It's the green's quick. The rolling at 11.2 today.
Fairly benign because the ball is sitting up. It should break a little from his right. It'll get there on its own. The beauty about this shot is even if you miss it a little bit, because it's downhill,
it's going to feed.
Roll. And if you catch it perfectly, it'll spin. So this is. I mean,
so that's how you and I are going to play. You're going to catch it, and I'm going to just trickle it down, right?
Wishful thinking. I think I catch it a lot more imperfect than the latter. Now let's see. Then the former, my apologies, how he does here.
Yeah, nice quiet hands.
Pitching it on the edge. Now it should release.
Oh, that's an eagle.
It should release right in the hole.
Very well done, Viraj, making up for his blemish on the 10th with a solid eagle on the 11th. Well done, young Madappa.
We said that it was not going to be a challenge for Viraj, but he said, I'll do you one up. I'll hold it.
Well, that was absolutely perfect. Great, soft, quiet hands. Got it absolutely right. Showed us all how it's done.
We said, we'll show you a 4. He said, I'll raise you a 3. So that's...
Good boy. Good boy.
An eagle for Viraj Madappa. And that would take him to 14 under par. So,
yes. So for now, he is tied with Thangaraja till Thangaraja makes his birdie.
The action's coming at you in full speed and high technicolor, right from Bengaluru. Bengaluru Open, powered by Indian Oil. This tournament offers a prize fund of rupees 1. And on your screens is currently young man Manu Gandas. He was the former number 1. And
So this is the fourth. This is the fourth Bengaluru Open. There have been 3 editions in the past, and the winners of those editions were Mane in 17, Anura Rohana 18.
See if Manu get the feet by Viraj.
So he just misses that, and Abhinav Lohan in 2019. So those are the 3 previous editions: 17, 18, and your 3 winners. So it's good to have the PGTI back after a 5-year hiatus at KGA. Yes, yes, indeed.
This has been one of my favorite venues.
And it's really good for golf and heartening to see when professional golf is in the top clubs in the country, and the members are willing to go a week. And that's all it is really for a professional golf event or a junior golf event, and they're usually played on weekdays. So it's really nice to see that happening. And clubs supporting golf.
This part should break a little bit from his right. Thanga.
No mistake there.
Very confident stroke and a good birdie there. So
Yeah, great signs of control. A birdie emoji is up. Did you see one for the eagle that Viraj made, or do we have to get one specially made for him?
I want to ask you that gesture. That's called the hook 'em horns, if I'm not wrong. That's a gesture with the pinky and your thumb. So yeah, it's definitely going all right for Thanga.
Well, you're a lot more sophisticated than I am, Shaurya. I just saw it as a bale bale.
I think you're a lot more modest, my dear friend, as you have a look at
Akshay
Sharma.
Yes.
Hole number 12. Another big hole here. The back nine offers you 3 comfortable holes to start with: 10, 11, 12. Then the 13th is a tricky hole, long par 3.
No, you're absolutely right. And that's said and done. 10, 11, 12 are also as tricky or as uncomplicated as your strategy is on those particular holes.
It can go either way.
Yes.
The golf course here, it demands precision and good golf shots. But if you have your game under control, you can go low.
Oh,
You can
absolutely.
shoot some good numbers here.
Absolutely.
But on the other end, you can really lose a lot of shots, and it can get away from you in a jiffy if you're not on song, because it's a long golf course.
No, and it's got a bite, and it's very rewarding to the person who's making the putts. Saptak Talwar on screen.
Going with the cack-handed with the lower hand down, we see a lot more variations in putting grips by the players these days. In yesteryear, you remember you'd have the blade putter and just the conventional grip.
I recall, the grip changes and the different fascinating grips as a youngster. Bernard Langer, a golfing legend, double
Also-
time.
So we've gotten an update that Viraj is, they've put him down for 5. I'm not quite certain if it was a 3 or a 5. Maybe he had the first one go out. So we'll have a confirmation in a minute. Maybe he had to reload off the tee. I'm not quite certain. We'll know in time. As we look at hole number 13, the challenging par 3. A long iron into this green, guarded by bunkers. And that's a decent shot right here.
Yes, you're right, Shaurya. Viraj has a 5 marked on his scorecard. So he's probably clearly hit one out of bounds.
Hole number 30, 216 yards. If it plays into the wind, you can end up going with a rescue as well for the medium hitters. For the longer hitters, maybe a 4-iron depending on the conditions. And the flag is more towards the backside of this green, so it's playing a little longer. It's playing about 220 as the crow flies.
And that's a very strong hole because it also plays into a left-right right breeze.
Guarded by that bunker and a little sort of a drop-off area on the left-hand side. So if you miss the green, it's not an easy par, and that's why you see that Akshay is being a little deliberate here, having a swig of water. This is an important tee shot. You really do like holes where they challenge you.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It it's very intellectually stimulating, and the strategy you want to hit it high and let it ride the wind back from the left side or flight one and low. Lots of options, lots of choices, and these players have most of those shots.
Looks like it's gone a little left on him, and it's
It was so slightly, yes.
That's okay. Given the length of the hole, you miss it there, you should be able to make an up and down for par. So this is not a birdie hole. Of course, if you do get a birdie, then nobody's complaining. I think it's playing a little easier today because it's right to left downwind on this hole. The previous hole was left right headwind, so that makes the hole shorter. So then the 6-iron will also be able to get there. You can leave it. You can stand on the right edge of the green and draw it back. So this is the easiest rowing condition for this hole.
At this point, probably right, yes.
So that's why you're not seeing many bogeys. You've seen a lot of birdies for the players who teed off on the first, and no drop shots amongst the first 30 players. Now Saptak. That is looking like center of the green.
Oh yes,
What an absolute beauty by him.
a gem indeed, and great work by our camera team. Catching the ball, against the skies, and these long distance shots. Kudos to our team. Well done, boys and girls.
And Thangaraja firmly in the driver's seat. Now, hole 12, I've not quite seen anyone ever go with the driver because you have that.
The water body, or the channel as they call it in Bengaluru.
I'm pretty certain in normal rounds you'd have quite a few drivers being unleashed on this hole.
But you do get uncomfortably close to the the water
Yes.
body, and plus when you actually, well, at least in my case, I find that giving myself about anything like 100, 120 into the green is actually a good call rather than trying to flip a 70-yard wedge from just short of the water channel.
Yeah, there's no reward for the players to get closer to green here.
None whatsoever.
The yardage of this hole is 393. But you can draw it around. But there is a hazard creek running through, so it plays firmly as an iron and then another wedge or something coming in.
Yeah, and it's a fairly firm fairway, so it does play a lot less than the published 393 yardage.
Taking a little more time than what he normally does.
Trying off his hands.
He'll be feeling good after that birdie. Viraj has made a bogey on 10 and a par on 11, so he's dropped a shot, and that's allowed Thanga to sort of open that lead. That looked almost like a punch shot. The club with an abbreviated finish.
Where is our pin flag?
It's about
Pin is cut back left.
back left, so maybe about 20 feet.
Yeah,
21
yeah.
feet. Yeah, the club really did get stuck in the fairway there. There was a sizable divot there. Viraj there in the center of your fairway. In the center of your view, not the fairway. My apologies. Guys, that these shots have been favored by on this hole.
Last two holes, yes, indeed. Yeah. Last two groups rather on this hole. We had Tamang and the previous group coming in from the right fairway, which is the 13th near the 13th tee, and now we see Manu doing the same thing.
Yeah, that can happen because if you're going with the longer iron, you want to bite off a little more than you can chew on this hole. These players would have gone with a 3-iron.
Right.
But you have to put a strong draw on it. And with the OB being on the left-hand side, it's always difficult to draw it towards trouble.
You're right.
Psychologically, you want to hit away from trouble. So when you're working it towards trouble, it's almost controlled aggression, if I may. That's always difficult. Viraj Mandapa.
Come on, Viraj.
Also coming in from the right-hand side.
He's going to angle to the flag.
Yeah, he's hit an absolute beauty as Viraj, about 20 feet, 15 feet under the flag.
Yeah, definitely a good shot.
This is my temple, this is my mental peace sanctuary. The one thing I can't do without, you better hear me. Can't do without.
The ultimate biking experience is incomplete without Servo 40 Extra from Indian Oil.
Castle's a bitter pill to swallow.
Servo 40 Extra from Indian Oil. Can't do without it.
Back to the live action now. And local boy Kalan Joshi, who plays all his golf at the KGA, having a terrific round. 6 under after 17 for the day. He teed off the 10th, and now he has the par 5 9th hole left to play.
Now this shot has a lot of green to work with, Manu. But it's still sizable. It's about 30 odd yards to the flag, maybe about 90 feet if you convert it. So not the easiest up and down. Not much in terms of difficulty as far as space on the green is concerned. He does have enough. We'll need to execute it well in order to make par.
He seemed to have clipped the tree with his second shot. And, it's about 10, 12 feet away.
So you have to make that in order to secure it.
Yeah, he's got his work cut out.
That all started off the tee. That shot put him in a spot of bother for sure.
And, talking about good rounds being played out today, the young Divyanshu Bajaj, he's in 5th spot. He's also 6 under for the day. And he has also just the last hole to play. But in his case, he's still got to play the 18th, which is a par 4. Strong par 4 finishing hole. And he's a 9 under for the championship.
I'd also like to talk about our tournament partners. Britannia, presenting the all-new range of Britannia Pure Magic Choco Cookies, Choco Tarts, Choco Frames, Choco Stars, and Choco Lush.
Shaurya, stop it. We can't be just talking about chocolate.
4 cookies each with its own uniqueness. I'll tell you, Mr. Shivas, I'm already hungry now. I'm frothing at the mouth. Choco Frames, the delicate crunch that melts into pure choco bliss. I'm pretty certain that Thanga would be looking for this ball to melt into bliss, into the hole. Let's see.
Well, as I sign off to my good friend Rahul Bajaj, who's going to come in and take my spot, let me warn you, all our friend Shaurya has been talking about is chocolates, and now expect him to talk about Amul's ice creams and cheeses as well.
Yes, so a little bit more about Britannia Choco Stars. Choco Lush, a crusty cookie loaded with so much chocolate, like the winning stroke that seals the game. So here's my advice to you. Don't even try to resist, because you won't be able to. Go ahead, give it to Britannia. And alongside, we also have the Bengaluru Marriott Hotel. Whitefield is Marriott's international flagship property in Bengaluru, strategically located in the heart of Whitefield with close proximity to the city's major tech parks, business districts, and industrial hubs. As you have a look at Viraj Madappa here.
Morappa going with a cack-handed grip there. Seems something of a new season for Morappa.
So the Marriott Hotel here features 520 thoughtfully designed rooms, including a leading inventory of twin rooms and 1-bedroom suites, along with 5 distinctive dining venues. So a lot to do here. And Marriott International is based in Maryland, USA, and encompasses a portfolio of near 9,500 properties across more than 30 leading brands in 144 countries and territories. So a lot of legacy, a lot of hospitality, top tier.
Now we know about chocolates, we know about where to stay, we know about the fuel that will get us there, or not yet?
Not yet. We'll soon talk about the fuel as well after this shot. As we have a look at Manu here, who's needed a little bit of fuel to get till here. It's taken him 3 shots. Let's see if he can secure his par. That's some troubles of the tee. Second shot as well. A good chip to here, about 12 feet now. He'll face his right to left 12-footer in order to make his par.
Well, this will help Manu Gandas stick around at 11 under, and that did not find the bottom of the cup. That'll be a drop shot for Manu. and he would move down to 10 under par to tie alongside Mohammad Azhar.
Unfortunate drop shot for Manu here. And a little bit about our sponsor this week, Indian Oil, a Maharatna enterprise under the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Government of India. Indian Oil has been more than a company for over 6 decades and as a constant companion in India's growth journey. From lighting up remote villages to fueling bustling cities, Indian Oil embodies the nation's spirit of progress and resilience, serving nearly 3.5 crore Indians every single day. Ranked 127th in the prestigious Fortune 500 list and adjudged India's most respected oil and gas company by Business World. Indian Oil owns and operates 10 group refineries and occupies leadership position in fuel marketing, with the largest market share in petroleum products, including petrol, diesel, LPG, and aviation turbine fuel. And I must also thank them that during my amateur days, they provided ample support to myself and helped me in my career as well. So yes, that is all about Indian Oil as we go back to the action.
There we have some swing vision for Pranam Madikar. And on the left side of the screen, we have Jamal Hussain from Bangladesh. Brilliant work there from these new technology-based products, which help us see where the club is moving in space and time. It really helps the coaches to understand. As you can see, the lag being created. Madikar certainly creating a much more laggy swing than Jamal does. So the differential between where the backswing moves and the downswing comes in, creating that lag between the wrist and the lower body, getting that club to come into like a whippy action. Certainly, Madikar presenting more of that.
Very dissimilar swings, but of course producing fantastic results nevertheless.
Well, absolutely. Jamal Hussain, a person whose name is very well known in the golfing circle. He's won the tournament just 2 weeks ago, and comes in from Bangladesh, one of the finest players that country has produced, right after Siddiqur Rahman, I would think.
Yeah, his countryman was also doing well the week previous on the Asian Tour event, and but of course Jamal now trying to take the mantle from Siddiqur. Siddiqur has been a very illustrious player, and now so is Jamal turning out to be. As we have a look at hole number 13,
Tangaraja on the tee.
Playing downwind from the right, so maybe a 6-iron for these longer hitters. And that's a good shot by Thanga. Maybe give himself about, I'd say 25 feet, given where the flag is. So the wind plays a big factor on this hole. This is a more helpful wind, making the flag stick more accessible.
Well, the pin position on the 13 today is 27 from the front, so Tanga would still have quite a long putt there for birdie. It's 10 from the right, so pretty much a centered pin position. Should be just under the slope at the back of the green, Shaurya.
Yeah, it's also playing downwind from the right, Rahul. So we've seen good scores here because then you get a mid-iron as opposed to having a longer iron on this hole. And the bunker's not really in play because it's a back flag, so this looks like it's come a little to the right by Manu. Yeah, it's short and right. That ball sitting down in the
Probably
rough.
overcooked that a little bit, but it really looks like they say it in Hindi, उड़ती चुया की भी पंख लेते हैं आप शौर्य जी.
Well, lucky read, I'd say that much.
It's a brilliant shot there.
Yeah, the hole changed without us doing it. It looked like some sort of chicanery magic. Yeah, for a moment, we were like, there are not players on this putting green. But yeah, brilliant camera work and kudos to the team.
That's a group of Vishesh Sharma, Mohammad Azhar, and Sanjeev Kumar. Sanjeev from Lucknow.
Turning out to be a really interesting tournament. We've seen a slew of low-scoring weeks, and this is continuing in the similar vein. But that's not owing to the golf course being easy. It's a very difficult golf course, mind you. It's just that the players have improved so much. I remember when we were playing the cuts at that time, we're going at 6 over, 5 over, maybe 4 at the lowest. But now you see 1 over par, even par, 1 over par this week. So it shows you the degree of difficulty. And these players are, of course, getting up for the big one next week. And the winner would get in as well. So,
Vishesh Sharma on the 15th hole to a curler
Walks it
putt
in.
and walks it in.
with style.
Vishesh, who's currently at 10 under par.
We're looking at the list of players who qualified for the DP World Championship. But yeah, that's a walk of a confident man. So you see 24 players were exempt, and somebody who isn't exempt and might get so if he were to win this tournament would be Viraj Madappa. From It's a very important week for Viraj. He can kill two birds with one stone. Sanjeev now on the par 4. So I was just talking about this, Raul, that Viraj is not exempt into the DP World India Championship, and if he wins this week, he gets to tee it up alongside Rory McIlroy.
Absolutely. In fact, I think it's a very important week for Viraj, especially knowing that, a couple of years back, he won the tournament at the DGC as well. So, and he's a former agent or winner at this very course. So, he's very well poised. And but Thangaraja is no man who is going to be a weak one for Miraj. So he's currently leading by 3 shots over Madappa. That was Manu Gandas coming up from just off the green and still has some of his work cut out for a par.
Even Mohammad Azhar and Vishesh Sharma, they find themselves in rarefied days if they pull this off. The proverbial rabbit out of the hat. They could get into that tournament. Divyanshu Bajaj as well, the 10 under par. So there's a lot to play for these players, I tell you that much.
Well, you never know, and it certainly is a very important week for the players who haven't made it to the DP India Championship because it can be a complete game changer for a player to be playing in such a big event, a four-baller event, staggered playing along players like Rory McIlroy, Shane Lowry. You've got Tommy Fleetwood, you name it, and they are going to be there. So any player, a professional would be wanting to play in that tournament. We take a look now at Viraj Madappa.
Viraj now. Just about complete shot. Looked like it was a little left, but this brilliant camera work shows you how pristine these greens are.
I think he
Even roll and blistering speed. These are the kind of conditions that players really look forward to.
I think Viraj didn't quite have the speed of that, but he left that shot and was pretty much online. Thangaraja now.
So the week after next, we'll have a slew of Indian stars amongst the international contingent. I'm hoping for one of our players to maybe win this tournament, and it's really not outside the question. We saw Veer Rawat a few years ago have that runner-up at the Indian Open. As we have a look at Thangaraja after that really good tee shot, right to left turn. This is a very birdie putt for our leader, who's currently at 15 under par.
Ooh,
That was ever so close.
Missing it on the low side. Thangaraja would remain at 15 under par after 13 holes here on the penultimate day at the KGA Golf Club. And this is the Bengaluru Open powered by Indian Oil. Prize purse of 1 crore rupees is being played forward. More than the 1 crore rupees, I think players who haven't yet made it to the DP World India Championship are going to be vying for that one remaining spot. And the winner of this tournament will be the one who gets in there. We take a look now at Manu Gandas. Manu putting for par from the right side of the hole. He's got a lot of work here to be done to stick around at 10 under par. Just coming off a drop shot on the 12th hole.
Yeah, wants to stop the rot, that is for sure. They want to be making 2 bogeys back to back. That's good.
Manu Gandas, 2 bogeys, 2 birdies, 2 bogeys. 2 bogeys, 2 birdies. 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 2 bogeys, 2 bir making amends there with a not so beautiful chip.
Yeah, he would saunter on to the next hole feeling a little better. That drop shot now would have faded from memory. This is a good par save. Every pro golfer likes to extricate victory from the jaws of defeat, and he was able to do that really well, making that 15-footer for par. So stabilize the ship somewhat, and he'd remain at 10 under par, maybe get a few more birdies, get to about 12 under par. Interesting trivia. Why the width of the hole is 4.25 inches. That's the diameter. The greenskeeper named Robert Gay is credited with the origin of this. He happened to use a metal drainage pipe as his most practical tool at hand. So it tells you that not all things, some things happen just by chance.
They certainly do, and I think that would be the case with a lot of things that happened back in the day. A lot of things they would have just sort of like come about with instead of really having some scientific reasoning towards it. Subhash Tamang, though, he certainly would have a scientific reasoning here on the 14th hole, hitting his third shot.
The 14th has been turned into a par 4 this week. A daunting one at that. 470 yards as Swash tries to make up and down here at hole number 14. Otherwise, it used to play as a par 5, where a player would hit a 3-wood layup and then probably another 3-wood for the green. It was a legitimate birdie attempt hole. Now, I think par would be a good score. 470, winding a little right to left off the tee and then left to right from about 150 yards out. So makes for an interesting hole nevertheless.
Saptak Talwar. Saptak putting for birdie here on hole number 14. From past the hole, his putt's going to break from the left to the right. Saptak, who is going to be teeing up at the DP India World Championship at the DGC next week, after owing to the victory that he had at JP Greens, plays mostly now on the Challenge Tour. Apologies there, putting for par.
That looks good.
Is Saptak.
I think by break right towards the end, I thought that should have done a little bit more. Unexpected for that to have broken left.
I think he just ended up staying left. Maybe just didn't turn as much as one would have thought towards the end of the putt. And, we also have young Vishesh Sharma now, who's after the birdie on the 15th hole is now at 11 under par, just 4 shots away from N. Thangaraja. Could the rookie also end up getting into the DP World Tour event in the coming week? We wait to see with bated breath who is it who's going to be taking the 24th spot here for the DP World India Championship. This tournament here, the Bengaluru Open, would pretty much be the decider for that.
I have a question so that viewers can know. So if a player who wins is already exempt, then do we go down the order of merit or do we add another winner? How does it happen, Rahul?
Well, we'll certainly be going down the order of merit, Shaurya, then. So that one spot will be decided in that fashion itself. So if, let's suppose that one of the previous winners is the one who wins it, so that wouldn't be the player. The 24th player from the order of merit will climb up. Subhash Tamang now.
Should break a little to his right, you reckon?
I think it should, but certainly is a slippery kind of a putt, this one. And yes.
Well, slipped it right. The hole. Well done.
Absolutely. Well, we've got Divyanshu Bajaj, who's finished at 6 under par for the day with 8 pars to finish his penultimate round here. And now at 9 under par for the tournament. Another player, Kalin Joshi, also shooting 6 under par, bogey free. Both Divyanshu Bajaj and Kalin Joshi, good friends off the course as well. Ended up shooting pretty much identical rounds. Saptak Talwar now.
This should be a mere tap in for Saptak. This is the penultimate day here at the Bengaluru Open, powered by Indian Oil. So A lot of players playing well this week, and this is the moving day. We through about 60% of the moving day, and as proceedings stand at this point in time, the player from Thanga Raja, the numero, Sri Lanka, had a little bit of look at those majestic views. That's your hole number 9, a daunting par 5 if I've ever seen one. Not for the faint of heart to try and take it on to. And if you take a dip in the water, then maybe take a dip in the pool later. So that's a majestic club, so many facilities. One of the most venerable institutions in this country. It's not just a golf club. It's an emotion. It's an institution. Somewhere that you want to belong. And currently, N. Raja is feeling right at home. From across the pond, Sri Lanka, right here, to the beautiful city of Bengaluru. Currently, has a long grip on this tournament, leading by 3. Of course, the chasing pack is not going to make it easy. Akshay Sharma.
On the par 3 15th hole today, pin position is 9 from the front and 5 from the left. Tough pin to get close to. Players usually would look to be about 15 feet past and slightly right of the hole to be in a really poised position to attempt a birdie over here. And fantastic shot there by Akshay Sharma. Couldn't really get better than that, could it?
That's how you get it done in style. And that ball turned a little left also after the pin. Normally likes to play a fade, so maybe he's started hitting those draws as well really well. Likes to always go with the left to right.
I guess at that level, you have to be pretty much ready with any shot that the course.
So good on him. He's added versatility to the mix as well as Akshay. So that gets him a little closer to the leader if he were to make this putt.
Absolutely. Tamang now. He's teed up on the left side of the tee box. Should be looking at drawing this one up a little bit.
Yeah, opting for that draw. It seems like this is an ideal draw hole where the pin is placed next to the green. Helps the ball move ever so closer to the leg. Let's see how our friend from Nepal fares on this shot.
Well, certainly pins towards the left side. Players will be looking at drawing that one in. Subhash Tamang also with a brilliant shot here, setting himself up for E on 15. Very realistic opportunity from under 15 feet.
An absolute dart here. It's placed about 194 to the center of the green. So this flag may be playing to about 185. So 7 iron for most of the field, do you think, given the wind conditions?
Saptak Talwar now. Saptak, who made a par on the 14th. He's made pars on 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th holes moving into this par 3, 15th.
We've seen 2 brilliant shots. Let's see if Saptak is able to join the party as well. Very good setup. Tall, athletic.
Talwar also looks like he's going to draw this one in.
Yeah, it does have a little bit of right-left spin on it. And another beauty.
Absolutely lovely
Making
shot.
short of this hole as I welcome into the commentary box Mr. Shivas Nath. A very good golfer in his own right. I see that Rahul calls him a professional amateur. He's more than that. He's taken up quite a few victories in club tournaments and is on everybody's target list. They want to beat him. He's the tiger of club golf.
Well, thank you very much, Shaurya, for that fanfare. I'm sure I'm going to sleep better tonight.
Victory here on the PGTI of India, currently at 11 under par and 4 under par for the day. Certainly poised himself in a good position going into the last 3 holes of the tournament of the day, penultimate round today. And Thangaraja on our screen on hole number 14, the par 4.
Thangaraja very firmly and solidly in control, showing good strategy, good temperament, and excellent execution.
Absolutely. Thangaraja is going to be a tough man to beat if he stays in the lead, because he barely makes any mistakes out there. So he's certainly in a poised position. Terrific shot here for Thangaraja, setting himself up for a realistic birdie opportunity.
And this whole position today on the front right also definitely a very gettable one. It's the upper tire on the back half of the green.
लाडलो, एक दूसरे से इतना नाराज क्यों रहते हो? ये लो नया प्योर मैजिक चोको टाट्स। एक शर्त पर दूंगा, एक दूसरे को खिलाना पड़ेगा। The new temptation. Too much choco in a crispy tart. Pure magic choco tarts.
पढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
Back to the live action. We have a quick screen grab of some of our spectators. It's always very heartening to see when, golf enthusiasts, youngsters, club members all come out to see some solid golf. As we were referencing earlier, it's such a great opportunity for youngsters and members to see top-tier golf when the legacy courses, the leading courses in the country open up their doors to professional golf and some amateur junior golf as well.
I must say that for Britannia, there was no better time than this festive season to be launching all these pure magic choco cookies. I really need some of these now. Can we not get some of these in the commentary box? Are these only for the players? What is going on?
Vivek is hearing our very legit requests.
We take a look now at Manu Gandas putting for birdie here on the 14th. Will Manu find the bottom of the cup? Unfortunately, that one will not be. Manu will have that little tap in remaining for a par here. Manu would stay at 10 under par for the tournament.
So it'll be good to see Manu, in action next week. Yes, he is very much, of course, he's the former DP World member, and right here in Delhi, in India, in Delhi, New Delhi, at the Delhi Golf Club, we have a $4 million DP World India Golf Championship. That's going to be a fun week, Rahul. We're all going to be there, cheering our boys on.
100%. I think it's going to be an exciting week. We've got plenty of our top crop playing over here, and being the Delhi Golf Club, it's the favorite golf course for our players, and I think it will be a very, very interesting challenge, and I would love to see an Indian win this coming week, especially with the kind of names that are playing from the international field. I think it'll be extremely exciting, Shivas.
I cannot be more excited, I'm equally excited than you are. In fact, just yesterday they announced that Luke, the winning captain of the European team, is also going to be joining some of his players.
Madapa with that missed opportunity would stick around at 12 under par.
So, of course, it's well documented that Rory's playing and, in conversation with club members and fellow friends, everyone's been talking about, will Rory take that driver out of the bag? And I guess it's probably not, but I'd love to see him maybe in the practice round engage or indulge us by just hitting a few drivers off the tee to really see how far he actually hits it.
Well, alongside being the Ryder Cup captain, Luke Donald also happens to be once upon a time the world number one, and one of the brightest and the most brilliant putters that one could see. And Thangaraja rolling that one in to move to 16 under par. So probably heard me there about being the best putter. And Luke Donald has had some of the best putting. In fact, his stats have been second to none. He got to the world number one by his putting stats. Actually, he was never a long hitter, and that's what got him to the world number one. Well documented again.
I think I do recall reading this somewhere, Rahul, that he has a record of 500 plus golf holes played at professional golf level without three-putt, which is very, very, very impressive.
I would definitely want to check upon that, and if I think that even if you went 5 tournaments for the three-putt, that's really super.
Absolutely, but that's something definitely worth checking. Yes, some nice color in the crowd, some lovely hats, and as we were talking, it's just so awesome to see people out there supporting golf and egging their favorite golfers on. A number of players in the field actually have KGA as their home course as well. Colin Joshi, who was being an absolute dare today, calls this his home course. It's been home course to Udayan Mane in the past as well. Rai Ganji plays a lot off there, and he's put on a good show today. under the day, and he's sitting at 6 of the tournament.
In fact, Shivas, you were absolutely right about the putting streak. He's actually 483 holes consecutively without a three-putt, which basically amounts to 26.8 rounds of golf, which is about, let's say, 27 rounds of golf. So that's pretty incredible. And mind you, these are all tournaments.
Yes, indeed.
Right. So he's gone through 483 consecutive holes without a three-putt. That's some sort of a feat. And that really brings me to the point that control perhaps is the most underlooked at aspect of a good putter.
You're absolutely right. And, as some of us are playing at club golf, say, it's okay if you're a little carnier, but just get your speed right. Because, I mean, how clear can you really be, right, Rahul?
As we now are on the 15th hole, the par 3, we got N. Thangaraja, who has just moved himself to 16 under par, to separate from Madappa by another shot.
Well, Thanga 4 under for the day, very solid, as is Vishesh Sharma and Muhammad Azhar, and some pretty tidy scores out there today. A lot of guys in red numbers. Sash Tamang, unfortunately with his double bogey 7 on the 9th hole, the brutal par 5 9th hole, is the only one at par along with Sanjeev Kumar in, I would say, the top 20-25 players on our score sheet.
Thangaraja, look for this one to get close.
15th is a nice little hole. It's a twin green, par 3 15th and par 4 17th sharing that green.
Thangaraja setting himself for yet another birdie opportunity here on the 15th hole. Par 3 is poised. Now we'll have a look at birdie from an uphill location, just about 12 feet away. We take a look now at Viraj. Viraj needs to cook up somewhat of a storm now going into the final 4 holes of the penultimate round so that he can close in some gap with Thanga.
Yes, he's now 3 behind. He was 1 behind overnight. So at 2 under and a couple of blemishes on the 10th and the 11th. In fact, 11th, what we all in the commentary box thought was an eagle, was actually a chip in for a par. He's made a couple of errors definitely on the 10th and 11th, and that's the difference between him and Thanga.
Madappa, very athletic golfer, very athletic and very disciplined, I must say. I've had the opportunity to play with him and interact with him a little bit, and his practice routines are second to none. He's a tremendous athlete. Always very meticulous about business that he brings about to the driving range as well as to the gym. And we take now a look at Manu Gandas, who himself is an extremely disciplined person. Mind you, he did not reach number 1 on the PGTI of India without being disciplined. Currently at 10 under par. Manu trying to get this one up close and personal with the flag. We have our sponsor boards at the back of the players. We've got Victorious Choice, the joy of golfing. We have Britannia there with the Pure Magic and festive season here. I think it's Servo, Indian Oil's Servo. We also have another tournament coming up by Indian Oil, which is the Indian Oil Servo Masters at Dig Boy just in a few weeks from now. Manu Gandas has his work cut out on the right fringe.
ओवरऑल ये था कि हम लोग मऊ के थे, मऊ में प्रैक्टिस करते तो एक ही होम कोर्स था, घर नज़दीक था, इसलिए काफ़ी एक दूसरे का योगदान काफ़ी अच्छा रहा।
पहली मुलाकात मेरी गोल्फ कोर्स में ही हुई है और मैं नदी किनारे घूमने गया था, वहाँ देखा मुकेश प्रैक्टिस कर रहा है तो मैंने इसको देखा, फिर मैं इसके साथ जुड़ गया जब से। सर सबसे बेस्ट हमारा रहा है कुतुब का, जहाँ हमने 35 अंडर मारा था, वो सबसे बेस्ट हमारा इसको रहा था।
ओवरऑल ये था कि राजू का काफ़ी योगदान रहा, क्योंकि मेरे संग हमेशा सपोर्ट करता रहा कि शांत रहने को बोलता था और अपने गेम पे ज़्यादा फोकस करने को बोलता।
सर मैं हर बार प्रैक्टिस करवाता था, प्रैक्टिस से ही पूरा योगदान होता था। जो चीज़ हम प्रैक्टिस में करते थे वही चीज़ हम गेम में आके करते थे, इसलिए हम टूर्नामेंट जीत जाते थे।
चंडीगढ़ गोल्फ क्लब में था, जिसमें जी मिल्खा सिंह और गगन जी भुल्लर में साथ थे, और लास्ट होल था, उस पर मैंने लास्ट में बड़ी मार के टूर्नामेंट जीता।
जो सबसे पहले हम खेले वो PSP ओपन था, जो हम दिल्ली गोल्फ क्लब में जीते थे, वो था ज्योति रंधावा। हम 25 इयर्स एक साथ है और 105 टूर्नामेंट मेरे रहे मुकेश के कुमार के साथ। सर वो इनकी मेहनत है और जो मैंने मेहनत करी है, प्रैक्टिस करवाई है वहीं पे, और हमारा कॉन्फिडेंस कभी खत्म नहीं होता था। राजू को ओवरऑल ऐसा था, इसको पटिंग लाइन ग्रीन रीडिंग इसकी बहुत अच्छी है और आज भी बहुत अच्छी है। वही रीडिंग पे ही मेरा फोकस होता था, इम्प्रूवमेंट होता था, मेरा गेम पटिंग अच्छी होती थी और मैच में जीतता था। ओवरऑल ये कि आज भी हम भले ही वो मुझे नहीं खिला रहा, क्योंकि आज थोड़ा मैं बूढ़ा हो गया, मैं 61 एज का हूँ, तो इसलिए नए प्लेयर को ये मौका दे रहा ताकि और प्लेयर को आगे बढ़ाऊँ। और आज भी हम दोनों एक ही साथ रहते हैं और एक ही होटल में रहते हैं। बिल्कुल सर, हम परिवार का रहते हैं, दोनों भाई जैसे रहते हैं। ये नहीं सोचते कि प्लेयर है मैं केडी हूँ, दोनों भाई की तरह रहते हैं, साथ में आते जाते खाते एंजॉय करते हैं। मैं प्लेयर को ये एडवाइस दूंगा कि अगर वो ज़्यादा मेहनत प्रैक्टिस करे तो प्लेयर का ज़्यादा गेम इंप्रूवमेंट होगा। आजकल तो प्लेयर लंबी लंबी बॉल भी मार रहे हैं और उनको थोड़ी सी मेहनत की जरूरत है, और वो मेहनत करेंगे तो वो जरूर सक्सेस होंगे। सर नए खिलाड़ी तो कहीं ना कहीं मार खाए जाते हैं, लेकिन पुराने खिलाड़ी पुराने ही होता है सर, वो अपनी टेक्निक कभी नहीं छोड़ेगा। सर उनको तो ये है कि वो जितनी मेहनत करेंगे प्लेयर के साथ, उतना ही प्लेयर को अच्छा बनाएंगे, ये उनकी मेहनत है सर।
पढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
I'm sorry, sir. My mistake.
पर हम भी जिद्दी है। मुश्किल खड़ी है, खोले सीना, सामने चट्टान है, मेरी जिद का बोले पसीना, चट्टानों के अंदर आसमान है। जिद क्या पावाली, जिद क्या पावाली, जिद क्या पावाली, जिद।
Check, this is my temple, this is my mental peace sanctuary. The one thing I can't do without, you better hear me. Can't do without.
The ultimate biking experience is incomplete without Servo 40 Extra from Indian Oil.
Castle's a bitter pill to swallow.
Servo 40 Extra from Indian Oil. Can't do without it.
In the commentary box, but wanted to give it a try.
As they say, the calm before the storm. When somebody is being too nice to you, I've been called young, debonair. I'm pretty certain my wife would take.
And athletic.
I'm pretty certain my wife will take exception to all three. But young at heart, we must remain like the field currently. Manu Gandas, who's young and going for it in the.
That's birdie opportunity. I think he's in first cut. That's the course conditions are absolutely superb. One of the best 18 holes in terms of the set of greens in the country. I've always been a huge fan of everything KGA.
Yeah, really, not just for the professional golfers, even for the weekend warriors, as we see Manu Gandas here for his birdie attempt. That looked so good.
Yeah, very nice stroke. I just love the stillness, soft hands, minimalistic body movement, just nicely, softly rocking putter. Excellent. Copy.
Yeah, everything about his technique, right from the long game to the short, is very consistent. What I see a change in these players as Thanga surveys his part is the case of nerves are not so perceptible. In our times, you could actually see if somebody is really sweating bullets. Coming down the stretch, you'd see that it would happen a lot. As we see Viraj Madappa rehearsing that shot, taking a sizable divot. So it's definitely going the aerial route.
Yes, you don't see his balls. It's clearly sitting down.
And drew a little bit of a sandy lie. Yes, and I must say, what an absolute beauty that is.
Absolutely. It was a bit of a chunk and run sort of a technique. And
yeah.
Sandy lie.
Believe me, that was a very difficult shot. He had to hit behind the ball, use the bounce Just have a look at that replay.
Well, because they have the skill and the practice, that's the lack of emotion.
That is really,
We would be sweating.
yeah.
I would say be sweating bullets over that.
That is really,
Beautiful.
the camera doesn't do justice to how good of the shot that was.
Absolutely.
A 10 on 10 by Viraj. He knows what's on stake. A berth at the big one.
Yes, absolutely. And just for our viewers who signed in, we have from the PGTI 23 players exempt for the DP World event, and the winner of this event, already not exempt, would also be at the DP World event next week at Delhi Golf Club.
It'll be interesting to note that the winner here at the Bengaluru Open, powered by Indian Oil, would walk away with 15 lakh and then some. The tournament offers the prize fund of 1 crore back after a hiatus of 6 years. And on your screen is your leader from Sri Lanka, N. Thangaraja. He's in a sort of a purple patch. Won quite a few tournaments this year on the.
That, unfortunately.
Missing that on the lower side, but
no blood, it's a par, safe par, just happened.
Twice a victor on the Professional Golf Tour of India this year.
So Thanga, of course, going to be at the DP World India Championships along with Jamal Hussain, who was the winner week before last in Hyderabad in the rain-shortened Golconda Masters. So two international players amongst the 23 from PGTI going to be at Delhi Golf Club next week, a $4 million event.
Cleaning that up. On hole number 17, Sanjeev. Hole number 17, probably rated as the most difficult hole on this golf course, if I'm not wrong. Placed to 436 yards. The 18 is a very difficult hole.
It's a nice and tight driving hole, and somewhat if you can miss it on the left, you might still have a second shot at the green. But anything just right of the fairway, basically.
Yeah, the 18th also 474 yards, very long par 4. And most of the times in Bengaluru, the weather is a little humid, so the ball doesn't go that far. It goes a little shorter as we have a look at Bhatia.
This is one track, Shaurya, that I find that really puts a lot of premium on pretty much all departments of the game: driving, long irons, wedges.
Hole number 16, the par 4. You can see the water there on the front left of the green, very much in play.
This is one of my favorite holes here, Shaurya. It's just beautiful. The way the green is set up, the driving.
And it's imperative, as you saw that beautiful putt by Subhash, to hit the fairway here. Otherwise, it could be your Waterloo.
No, literally so, because you get down to the left side first, very close to the water after your drive, and then you have a sort of a hanging line where the ball's above your feet and moves to the left, the right to left, wind and the water all the way towards the left of the green.
Good putt right there by Saptak, cleaning up for his 4. And this is the closing stretch. As they say, it's the proverbial bear trap. 16, 17, 18 here. 3 holes that are fraught with danger. 17th is a tight driving hole, playing to only 436, but steep uphill. For a medium hitter, would probably be a driver and then maybe an 8-iron or a 7-iron. For the longer hitters, it can be just a driver 9-iron pitching wedge. So this shows you what the players face. The trees flank the entire left-hand side. 18th, obviously, this is akin to running the gauntlet right towards the end when the players are tired. You're facing a 474-yard hole, a long hole. This drive really needs to be well hit for it to stay in the fairway. Mohammad Azhar, not exempt next week, really needs this victory. He's been in fine form, Mohammad.
18th green, Shaurya is a very strong hole and a lot of contours as well.
Good drive right there towards the right fringe, and that he'll do well. The ball travels a little further from the first cut.
The 18th green as well, as we were talking, presents a lot of options, pins, a lot of contours and undulations. And of course, it's guarded by water on the left side.
Mohammad Azhar playing alongside Vishesh Sharma and Sanjeev Kumar. Vishesh Kari in view.
Yeah, Vishesh is having a bit of a run today, isn't he? He's moved up to third place. He's at 4 under for the day and 11 under for the championship. Tied alongside Mahmoud.
Teeing it up the right hand side of this tee, opting to hit a left to right fade here.
For sure. Probably aim it at the left side fairway bunker and put back a bit.
And I think he's done okay. If he's able to get a clear shot from there, not quite certain of it.
Were you able to get a clear visual, Shoria, on his ball? Did it settle down or is it sitting okay in the rough?
I think it would have rolled a little, maybe about 4 or 5 feet into the rough. So it's a little bit of a roll of the dice for him, what kind of shot he gets now. Sanjeev, he's done really well this week.
He's another old war horse. He's been playing his trade on PGTI for a long, long time.
And it's good to see players like that being rewarded. You see that swing, very unique. Not much body turn right towards the back swing.
Very sweet tempo, very controlled, excellent balance as well.
Yeah, languid, very unique swing, I must say.
Very old school, I would say. It's a lot like how some of our pros in the past, very self-taught before the advent of social media and, video lessons, very much homegrown swings.
Yeah, but looks like he could definitely hit the ball a lot further. The strongly built individual. It has that swing tapered for accuracy, it seems.
Well, as you get older and lose yardages, yourself and
Rocky by his friends. He's the life of the tour, a very flamboyant and buoyant individual. Always keeps it light. But coming up surprisingly short right there on hole number 18.
Yes, that's...
I think because it's up on the ridge, the hole, so
Yes, he just get over the ridge because it breaks downwards.
Yeah, breaks down, so the players are a little circumspect of that, and sometimes you err on the side of caution. And I would think it's better to go beyond, because now it's a very difficult putt to try and hole, and again, you're not quite certain if I go aggressive or just try to get the speed. So
you're 100% right, because if you can't pass the hole, he's probably also going to have a slight upper putt coming back. But then, of course, it's probably just a bit of judgment.
This hole has only yielded one birdie, solitary birdie by Aryaman Aditya Mohan on hole number 18. Apart from that, has sort of cut a forlorn figure as far as birdies are concerned. 18th hole is definitely not one for the taking, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to test you, it's going to try you, just like this golf course.
But that doesn't surprise me, because the pin is at the back right, and you don't have much room beyond the green. There's the clubhouse, and that's basically out of bounds, because it gets across that little cart path.
Now have a look at this putt, Shivas. What are your thoughts on this? Speed is imperative that he's able to lock this down. Former winner here on this golf course. Lohan, brilliant putter. Using that center shafted putter. Let's see if he's got the speed.
Oh no, he's left it short.
Yeah, he also leaving about 3 feet short, but that's good enough. Should be able to knock that in. So it's a tricky pin position. It's good work by the tournament director, Mr. Chari.
Yes, Sampath has put out there a nice, interesting pin position that makes the players think. And this is definitely a thinking golf for score, no doubt about it. Young Shaurya, who is coached by our co-commentator Rahul Bajaj.
Yeah, Shaurya is pretty done well in the limited time that he's been on tour. He's displayed good form. And what I like most about him is that he's a very, very even young man. Now this is maybe about 12 feet.
Well done.
Look at that.
Excellent. He'll be a happy camper.
Can talk about temperament. I just said he's even keel. He left it short, but he was not flustered. And again, putting perfect speed on that part. Look at that.
Very good roll as well. And that was a good visual of the ball. Greens are absolutely true. No bobbling, just tracked online. And we saw it disappear.
It's definitely the young man's game. Golf is a game of confidence. You have ebbs and flows, especially in a career. But for the youngsters, they've seen a lot of success and they back themselves. It's a different breed of players altogether now. The process of maturation happens almost overnight, it seems at times.
So a couple of 6-unders as the best rounds of the day today. Both the boys in the house. With Divyanshu Bajaj fighting a 6-under today to move to 9-under for the tournament. And he sits in 6th place.
Anant now for his putt. Oh, that is one of the risks of missing it on the upper side. The downhill putts are pretty slippery.
No, these greens, you just have to make a good stroke. Anything slightly off in terms of contact or line is not going to find the bottom of the cup.
Yeah, case in point, just evidenced right there. Now, you can see that Abhinav Lohan is really preparing for this putt, is leaving no stone unturned.
And this, is exactly right. All these guys take their time because this is the difference that makes the difference. The putt's made.
Yeah, but he knows that this is about 2.5, 3 feet, and it's not quite a gimme. You still have to put a good stroke on it, and you have to ascertain the correct line.
And this is already for a bogey.
So he's done the hard work, and he's able to hold
Well
that.
done. Well done.
It's a good putt. Currently, Abhinav Lohan is at 6 under
This
par.
is one of the things that I really enjoy after a game of golf. The guys get their hats off, acknowledge each other, mutual respect, etiquette.
Yeah, that's what sets golf apart. It's displaying your respect and to your co-players.
Yes, absolutely.
Brilliant tradition.
Absolutely, a gentleman's sport, and it's something that normally in the streets you see a guy from the club. It's a beautiful, you talk about
a tradition, yeah.
hats. The coconut. I have always enjoyed a nice tender coconut under those trees as I walked off the 7th green and waited for the 9th green to clear.
Well,
come on, KGA, get the coconut vendor back.
Yes, talking about coconuts. Thangaraja from the land where coconuts are very famous, reared a lot of coconuts there, and they're grown in plenty. So
I have to say that Sri Lanka is actually one of my favorite countries to visit. I have such fond memories. Beautiful country, beautiful people.
Hole number 16 back to the star from Sri Lanka. You're on hole number 16.
Oh, he's walked that in.
Really walked that in, huh?
Very Justin Rose from the Ryder Cup.
So that would mean that he would move to 16 under par. Look at that. That ball had a good 2.5, 3 feet to travel, and he'd already ascertained that.
And the green, that where the pin position is on the left side, it moves a lot from the right to the left. So he's really read that well and executed it.
Manu now. Also one of those, him and Ajitesh Santhu, very similar in demeanor. You can't quite tell whether they made a birdie or a bogey. Not that emotive, able to keep it all wraps. Viraj now. Winner.
देखिए ना,
already.
वही सेम चॉकलेट कुकीज खा खा के जिंदगी से सैड हो गया है।
नाम क्या है इसका?
जिमी।
टेम्पटेशन से बड़ा कोई मैजिक नहीं। प्योर मैजिक चोको स्टार्स, द न्यू टेम्पटेशन।
What a great shot! But he looks tired. And that's a drinks break.
But what's the plus sign for? अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस। जब लगे थकान वाली प्यास, जरूरी है सेल लेवल हाइड्रेशन। इसके इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स आपके सेल्स को रिहाइड्रेट करे, एनर्जी लौटाए, थकान वाली प्यास मिटाए।
जब आपको भी लगे थकान वाली प्यास, अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस, थकान वाली प्यास के लिए।
You're at the 18th. The flag being placed in a precarious position. MD Azhar, who's now moved into second position. So the victory not too far away from grasp. He's 5 shots away with 19 holes to play. At least he's the closest pursuer, and he knows what's on stake.
Well, there's 3 of them tied at 11 under now. Vishesh Sharma, Mohammad Azhar and Viraj Matappa, who gave away another shot on the 15th. And we've just seen him execute a beautiful little chip. So essentially, it seems he's missed that short putt.
Yeah, that as you have a look at his shot on hole number 18. This, of course, would be his third shot, unless he's bludgeoned a 400-yard, 20-yard drive, which is not that likely unless your name ends with D. Shambo.
Yes, he's probably missed the fairway and then had to kind of, bring it out. Couldn't advance too far forward.
Really need to flight it well to get close to this flag. And the contact was good, but just one of the difficulties of a flag like this, there's not much space.
Off that ridge, we saw the same thing happen with Shaurya in the previous group, your namesake, and now the same thing is happening here with Vishesh as well.
I think you can also see the darker grass is probably a little slower. So that could be another plus, of course, being the side of the ridge. So it's not easy. These shots are very difficult. There's not much space that you can drop it. As Mohammad Azhar is deep in conversation with his man Friday, trying to gauge which way the cookie crumbles.
Earlier on screen we had the pair from Mao, the legendary Mukesh Kumar and Raju, and we're talking about the old friendship, and what a heartwarming clip that was. It was on the Instagram as well yesterday, and the PGTI certainly upped their game with interesting trivia and stories about players and their approach.
Sanjeev now, and that looks good. That looks good, and he was walking that in. It looked like it looked good.
Almost doing a Thanga Raja, right?
Yeah, a little bit of a heartbreak right at the end, but he should be able to make that. And I think, as my memory serves me, this would be one of the better weeks in Sanjeev's Steve's career, given that it is a substantial amount of prize fund this week. We have a good event, and a 10 would definitely come. There is a victor, but then, of course, are the other players who are in the fray as well. The top 5 get the world ranking points. The top 50 entities get a lot of currency. And as the way golf is structured, the players who don't make the cut go back empty-handed. But I think that's the beauty of the game of golf. It's a 4-day sport, and you really have to earn your keep, so as to speak. And no free lunches. But food is the furthest thing from MD others' mind at this point in time. This with what appears to be his birdie putt on hole number 18. He's done a lot of homework on this. Let's see if he can hold this.
He has got it up to the flag. Good.
I think that's a really good putt. The fact that we've only seen one solitary birdie here goes to show you that this is not a birdie hole. Coming in with a long iron, and you're just looking at the space, which is almost like a thimble. No space on top of that shelf.
No, that's a very precarious spin, as we just saw. It's on a bit of a downslope. So no one wants to fly it all the way back to the flag, and if you fly it below the ridge, it's not feeding up the flag because the greens are.
The out of bounds
was very softly, and there's out of bounds. Yes,
exactly.
Right.
There's out of bounds as well. It's not one way you can really be aggressive. You need a restrained aggression, which is the most difficult kind.
Oh, for sure. It's very interesting, how a hole can play based on the pin position and that get created. So, suddenly you're very happy to walk away and give yourself a chance for birdie opportunity and just take your par and walk. This will certainly bring that out today. It also leads me to believe that there will be a sporting pin position tomorrow on the front left side, which will, on the 4th day, that's a great position because that does bring in the birdie equation. No, not his best foot. He has underhit it and underread it. So that'll be Vishesh cleaning up an already market, probably stepping on one of his co-players' lines. Sure, the other day I was having a very interesting conversation with a buddy of mine. We were playing together, and he was going to step on my line, and I said, "Go ahead, buddy." He said, "Are you sure?" And I do know it makes a bit of a difference, and there's a bit of a hangover from the days we used to all play in spikes. But literally in the group before the group, you don't really know who was standing on your line. But I think it's a bit psychological, and of course considered courtesy as well.
Yeah, that's a good part right there. But the rule change has obviously helped a little bit.
Yes, so you can tap down spike marks.
But when we were playing junior golf, of course, we were cautious teenagers who were always trying to get one up on the other. Sometimes we'd actually walk on the other line. I've seen that, But, anything to win, I would not say, please do not emulate that.
Well, as long as you would not dig feet in like you did in Satraps, I think you left your reputation intact.
But of course, these are not in tournament rounds. These are in friendly competition. I remember as these players they finish their rounds, we'd actually hide each other's ball in the bunker as well. So of course, that's what you come back with memories. And look at those rounds. Look at the width and separation in that. That's athlete swing. And the long hitting Kavatyal. And holding their finish. So it's I would say try this at home if you have the hardware for it. Otherwise, just stick to hitting soft little fades in the center of the fairway.
Or perhaps the commentary box.
Yeah. That's the easiest place to pontificate about greatness when you don't have to do it yourself. As we have a look at Manu Gandhas on hole number 10, the 17th hole. Now, once you are able to get that drive in on the short surface, it's definitely go territory.
That looks like a nice little wedge. One obviously he's hit it a long way off the tee. And he's hit it tight. Nice. It's about 10, 11 feet. And the hole's playing downwind, so that certainly helps. This again is a tremendous hole. The 17th green is actually part of a twin green complex where the 15th green, the par 3, and the 17th share the same green. So a lot of options in terms of pin positions and a lot of real estate to do. And check it to make sure it's all recorded correctly. We see ever so often someone being careless and paying a heavy price for just not checking their scorecard. And just for our viewers, if you record a higher score on any particular hole than what you had, the score stays as it is. And if, of course, it's a lower score, you stand disqualified.
Yeah, the way the rules are structured, it's not just about your total score. So, like, let's say if you shoot an 18 over par, I'm talking more for realistic scores, not 18 under par. If you shoot an 18 over par and you make a mistake on a few holes and you swap a birdie with a bogey on, let's say, 2 holes, but your total remains the same, you still get disqualified. So it's not just about the total score, but the individual score on each hole can be higher, but not lower than what it actually was.
In fact, recently there was an instance where a player checked all his scores on the scorecard, signed the card, and submitted it, and the marker had overlooked to place fill in the score of the 18th hole. So he submitted a card for 17 holes. So these are the kind of strange things that happen. So please be aware, all players, when you sign and check your scorecard before you submit it.
Viraj now. Hole number 17. I think it'll be difficult for these players to usurp Enthanga Raja. Oh, you need a lot more. That was in unison. The commentators are in step.
No, you absolutely are right. Clearly Viraj is a good young man. We'd love to see him play next week, and a good effort with an unfortunate result.
As I must harken back to my point. I think it's going to be difficult for them to unseat Thangaraja from the throne. He's 5 ahead, and he's tasted victory so many times this year, and he's been very consistent. And somebody really have to come in hot with a low round, maybe get a really good front line going, so that Thangaraja can feel a little bit of pressure. Otherwise, I think he might just get to 20 under par on this golf course, and that would be quite something as he
makes another birdie attempt.
Oh, that was.
Walked that in as well.
I don't know if he walked that in with hope that it would go in, or was he just?
Yes, it was. I think it was just an anxious leg raise rather than the walk. You're right.
Yeah, that
we have that.
He moved here. Yeah, that was just a little bit of hope that it would
hold
break
up and not drop off.
Yeah, it reminds me of one of the poems when you're in school. I don't quite remember. Was it Rudyard Kipling? Hope against hope, hopen. That one very famous line in that. But yeah, no such luck. But as they say, great men make their own luck, and he's definitely doing that at this point in time.
Absolutely right. So as we have Manu Gandas lining up his putt, I'm going to request my good friend Rahul Bajaj to join Shaurya in the commentary box.
Mr. Bajaj will be joining us as we have a look at hole number 17. Manu Gandas has got his iron sight set on this. Hole number 17, the par 4, 435 odd yards. Such an important tee shot that faces the players here. Manu drains that putt. So a beautiful birdie for Manu. Finally making a birdie after that bogey in hole number 12. It's taken some time, but the wait has been worth it. So he would now move to 11 under par in that quartet now, which was a trio. Now you have Mohammad Azhar, Viraj Marappa, and Manu Gandas. Vishesh Sharma has dropped out of the trio, so yeah, it will still remain a trio at the second position. Low scores aplenty. It's been a day of low scores, a score fest. The top 25 players have all played par or under par. So, given that this golf course is very challenging, it's 7,100 yards and a par 71 at that. So, it's praiseworthy performance by the field.
Stellar par here by N. Thangaraja to stay at 16 under par. Now 5 shots ahead of the rest of the field. So he certainly has things in his control as he moves into the final hole of the penultimate day. We take a look now at Viraj Marappa.
So N. Thangaraja is our leader.
Viraj trying to stay in the mix as to be within striking distance going into that final round. He's 5 shots away right now. That's a putt for par. The athletic Viraj Marappa closes in on the 17th with a 4 moving into the 18th hole. The 18th hole is a par 4 here at the KGA. The drive requires you to draw the ball slightly.
Indeed, that is Anshu. Strong swinger of the club.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Bengaluru Open 2025, powered by Indian Oil.
And never too late to start a good thing. You joined us right towards the end of moving day. And what a moving day it has been. It's been a slew of low scores on your screens. Now driving is Manu Gandas, 1 under for the day. Manu Gandas has been the former number 1 on the Professional Golf Tour of India. He played on the DP World Tour as well.
Very peculiar kind of a setup that he has. Very upright with his hands. Trying to draw that one in. Not quite happy with that one-handed attempt. Seems like he's overdrawn that towards the left side of the bunkers. Should be all right in the rough, but should have a decent look at the green from that angle.
Yeah, definitely a spot of bother given where that flag is. Probably not a bad position if you miss it to the left. If you have a shot, just hit a draw from there. But this is a long hole even for these players who hit the ball quite far, I think. Given these conditions, they might be facing a 6-iron coming in at least. Back left flag.
Our leader now, all the way from Sri Lanka, N. Thangaraja, 16 under par.
Oh, he's given that a mighty hit whenever the player takes off the tee. And he's well beyond that bunker.
Pretty much doing it like easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
I think he won't get a 6-iron, maybe a 9 or 8-iron given his penchant for prodigious hits.
Thangaraja is quite a sneaky long guy. He's hits a pretty average distance throughout the day, but can really pound one when he needs to. Talking about pounding one, Marappa now on our screens.
Yeah, he's just a consummate athlete. He's tall. He's got long limbs, very athletic, and not an ounce of fat on him. He's twisted metal, so as to speak, wrought iron, strong, able to hold that finish. And look at that. And I think it's the commentator's curse, which has finally reared its beautiful head, and he's gone to the left hand side. Viraj, my apologies. You know, but all the things I said, they do hold true. One wrong shot, bad shot doesn't change anything. He is an absolute champion, is Viraj, and it's currently at 11. And for my sake, I hope he makes par on hole number 18.
Well, overcooked that one with 3 birdies on that front nine and turning at 3 under par. 2 bogeys on that back nine with bogey on 10th as well as the 15th. Viraj Madappa needs to make a par here on the 18th from the left rough to finish his round in under pars.
The man from the kingdom in the Himalayas from Nepal, Mr. Tamang.
Tamang, 4 birdies on the back nine today and 3 drop shots on the front nine. 1 under par, 9 under for the tournament. On the 18th hole, Vash Tamang. He's probably the only player who actually makes his practice strokes beyond the ball.
Yeah, I was thinking, are my eyes doing some sort of magic on me? I saw him take a practice swing on the other side.
Well, there are many things that separate players from each other and their own personal touches here and there. And Subhash Tamang certainly has one of his own.
Have you ever quite seen that in your life?
Never have I ever.
So, ladies and
I
gentlemen,
watched Subhash Tamang.
that is what you get on the Professional Golf Tour of India. Rarity. It's like finding a diamond in the rough. And that's what you get when you tune in to the Premier Golf Tour, this part of the world, and soon to be the world over. You have world ranking points, you have stars here, and the next week the stars descend upon Delhi Golf Club.
Saptak Talwar, he's one of the stars that you can find at the Delhi Golf Club playing the DP World India Championship next week, playing alongside Rory McIlroy and Tommy Fleetwood. Saptak, who won a tournament a few months ago at the JP Greens Invitational, and 9 under par as of now for the tournament. Pars on the trot in the back nine.
Mr. Talwar now.
Well, Talwar seems to be making the practice strokes on the putt on the correct side of the ball.
Look at the paint in the center of the putter, ladies and gentlemen. It's worn out. That's what you want to emulate. Perfect contact every time, just like that. What an advert for that putter.
Saptak cleans up there. No trouble for him here on the 18th.
He spoke about Rory McIlroy and Shane Rory. Fleetwood Mac, what they called them.
He's
a singer as well, and Rory McIlroy.
It's Tommy Fleetwood, not Fleetwood Mac.
So it's Fleetwood Mac. Tommy Fleetwood and Rory McIlroy is Fleetwood Mac, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they refer to as.
These commentators can just say it.
That's our job. As you look at that beautiful topography.
One of the most brilliant golf courses in the country, the Karnataka Golf Association, is one of the best championships in the country. Tree lines like that throughout the course, which demarcate each fairway from the other. And Thangaraja in the middle of the fairway, he has no idea what the tree lines look like. They are only there for him to appreciate.
You know, I had a moment of nostalgia when the camera was running through the trees. That was my view in most of my golfing career. I was burrowing through the trees, and all I could see is trees on either side, water everywhere. Not a drop to drink. The fairways cut a forlorn figure when I was in, but not these players. They're on top of the game. Manu on from the left hand side on hole number 18.
Do you quite believe that they are 70% air?
Well, that's what they say, but believe me, they're not. They felt like 95% air. The ball never goes through.
Manu Gandas coming up from the left side of those bunkers. He's coming in from the rough, but should have a pretty decent look to send this ball towards the center of the green.
He's taken a sizable divot there. Good hit.
Come out like a bit of a jumper. He's played for a jumper, but didn't quite come like that. And he's left it on the front edge. It's going to be a slightly challenging up and down.
He looks a little despondent, but I think in his defense, he's a good shot. It's so difficult because he just had a yard more, and that would have been perfect, given where the flag is switched on and rolled up. So
Well, as of now, it is not a yard. Most going to remain short of the green and will have to contend with Thangaraja now coming up for his second shot. Can he set up another birdie here and separate himself further from the rest of the field?
and Thangaraja, a 5-shot lead is nice, but you know what's better? A 6-shot lead. It doesn't.
That left side top flag on the left side, Thangaraja and leash the ball pretty well to send it out.
He's an absolute beauty for that. Look for that to come back a little bit now.
Thangaraja is being poised for his next birdie.
I wish somebody had taught me how to play like that. He plays within 2 or 3 seconds. He executes the shot. That is what you want to emulate, not just the standard of play, but ladies and gentlemen, the speed of play.
I could put you in touch with Thangaraja. Maybe you could learn from him directly.
I hope he doesn't know me. That might be a little bit of a problem. As we see Raj Madappa on hole number 18.
Madappa should have a pretty decent look. He'll have to respond a little bit, which I think he is trying to do. But he is trying to go for the green, isn't he?
Lucky that he's found an opening. That's a really good shot. That's a really good shot, ladies and gentlemen. That's 10 on 10.
Please stand up from your chairs, and that deserves an absolute ovation after the shot in the left rough. What a brilliant shot here by Vidpa, setting himself up for a birdie on the 18th.
So it's not just from the fairways. You have to know how to get yourself out from a spot of bother. And he's done that in style as Raj Madappa. He wants to be there at the Delhi golf course for the big one. He's not going to let the miss Thangaraja. You're going to have to earn it.
Mind you, for
Gained a lot of experience as Om Prakash Chauhan.
So a good piece of information here for our viewers is that you don't just need to be hitting good shot after good shot. In fact, one of the traits that a good player must have to win a tournament or be able to be on the top of the order of merit will have to be scrambling skills, and that's one of the skills that Tiger Woods had. He was number one in scrambling a couple of the years that he actually was the number one in the world, and he wasn't any in terms of the fairways hit or number one on the putting, while a player like Luke Donald would have been number one in the putting. So it doesn't matter which department that you're acing in, but you have to be good at one or the other department to be able to score your best.
And that's us as we draw near the end of proceedings. We were there for a solitary moment. Catch me if you can. Hole number 18. And I think it's an adage that applies really well to N. Thangaraja. So far, field has not had an answer for his brilliance and opulence. He's just been on song as this man from Sri Lanka.
Left top in position on this 18th hole is a tough pin to get to, especially with this downwind. Thangaraja has put himself in a very good location. He's about 15-16 feet away for birdie.
Yeah, that out of bounds also lurks right around the corner, metaphorically and literally. You hit half a club more and then you're sauntering off and hitting another one. That's happened to himself. Number 18, once I remember it.
Manu electing to go with a putter from the front to the green.
Manu, that's
long way away for Manu to be going with the flat stick. In position to check the plumb bobbing technique of which way the slope is going. This is a very old method made very famous, like Justin Leonard from the PGA Tour. They would plumb bob their way to find out which way would the putter's head angle to help them understand where the slope is at.
Yeah, that's even Nick Faldo, if I remember. And you had to have one eye shut, almost like a shooter, and then dangle that putter in front of you. It's a variation of the plumb bobbing. I've tried, nothing ever worked out, but I'm pretty certain it works beautifully for Viraj Madappa.
A birdie putt here for him, coming in from that left side rough situation. Can he make a birdie? End this day on a high note.
This would be a birdie edges after that drive on the left-hand side. Did a really nifty shot, about 30 feet to this very difficult pin position.
Marappa with a beautiful stroke there.
A fantastic putt. That's a really good putt. Good speed, just snaked away in the end. I'd say that's just short of 10 on 10. That's good control. And
ball just turned the other way around. I think he was expecting it to keep moving in from the left side. Certainly seems like it veered off more towards the left at the end of the putt, and that
it looked good.
That
right here,
Thangaraja's putt is actually going to be fairly slippery, moving in a little bit from the right at the start and a little bit from the left towards the end of the putt, making it a pretty challenging double breaker.
Thanga has been on song on all facets of the game, especially the putter. He held that really good win in his previous tournament, where he won in a playoff.
This putt to extend his lead to 6 shots going into the final round. And Thangaraja on the final hole here on the penultimate day.
Already at 16 under par, just to get to 17, tantalizingly close.
Unfortunate, but Thangaraja would remain at 18 under, leading by 5 shots over Mohammad Azhar and Manu Gadas as well as Viraj Marappa. So we take a look now at Manu. Manu has his putt remaining for a par here. This is our leader group here at the Bengaluru Open 2025. For prize purse of 1 crore rupees, players are playing at the Karnataka Golf Association. This is the back 9 of the PGTI season of 2025.
Yeah, back 9 of Telecast as well. Probably the final few moments. Of course, we'll run through highlights as we have a look at Manu here with his attempt.
Manu's got about 5 or 6 feet remaining for his par. He'll stick around at 11 on par. And yes, things would get pretty interesting into the final round. PGA is a kind of golf course that is some player can get on start of a strong. Manu drains that one in, no problem. Stays at 11 under par going into the final round. And if one of these players can get onto a hot start going into that final round, especially with the 2 par 5s on the front 9 and the first hole being a reachable par 4, you never know. The sky is the limit, and one of these players might actually give Thangaraja a run for his money.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really good 2-putt by Manu, I must tell you. From the front of the green, he proved us right that his choice was, in fact, the correct one. Bengaluru Open, powered by Indian Oil. The third day draws to close with some stellar scores. None more so than Thangaraja, who's been a brilliant front runner at this tournament. Mohammad Azhar also vying for that top spot. 5 shots behind him. Joined alongside Manu Gandas, Viraj Gappa, Vishesh Sharma, the youngster, at 10 under par. Divyanshu Bajaj, resurgent, 6 under par by him. Satak Talwar, Amardeep Malik, very consistent, experienced Malik at 8 under par. Shaurya Bhattacharya at 8 under par. And Subhash Tamang alongside Kalin Joshi, rounding up the top 10 under par. It's been a beautiful day. A lot of low numbers. That's a whole number 9, which only a few players can opt to go for 2. And alongside is the opening hole, short par 4. So quite a few opportunities here. It's been a brilliant day. It's been a beautiful day as well. And please do stay with us as we bring to you the highlights of the day. This is the iconic first hole alongside hole number 9. A majestic view of this facility. Karnataka Golf Association is the heart of professional, junior, amateur, and corporate golf. It's the beating heart of golf in this part, and so many champions have been reared in this facility. Some of the moments. Be the man tomorrow. He's been in the chain many times. It is this one more time where he can shoot a low number and come from behind for a victory. If anyone can do it, Manu certainly can. Measured, deliberate, and exact. Those three words I can describe them. Raja, the leader, 44 years young, giving the field a lot to think about as he walks in with a 5-shot lead. Local favorite, Viraj Madappa, imposing, towering, but gentle. Anthony, very good player. Going back to form.
And of course, our leader. All smiles.
And the connoisseurs of golf, the patrons.
The ball smiles. For some vadas while editing the Bengaluru. Muhammad Salu. Congratulations. Bowling by Mohammad Salu as well.
Oh, that is like Camilo Villegas. Camilo Villegas Singh. Perfect. And you could say, there you have a chopper. Front swings plenty. I don't think. Look at that swing. Really not leaving anything in the tank there. A lot of power on display on the professional golf tour of India.
Pristine conditions, great weather. The only thing that is bringing up the heat is the golfers here on the PGTI of India. We have Pranav Chauhan, the amateur, and some legal is flying along the way. Raja, the man to beat. Viraj Madappa trying to open up a protein bar. He's got 5 shots to catch up. Might take 2 of them. Doshi with a bogey free 6 under par round today. Arjun Prasad, the winner from last week. Tamil Nadu Open 2025. Prakash Chauhan, former Indian number 1. Which one's taking there in that? And we have Claudia's favorite view.
Not by choice.
That is the leaderboard, the final leaderboard after the penultimate Raja leads the way 16 under. Mohammad Azhar Bandas with a par. 5 shots away, 11 under par. We have the rest of the field trailing the leader Raja.